Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Great to be with you. Hope this finds you doing well. Appreciate you joining us. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. So you can find us there if you want to stream the show and or listen to it, of course, traditional fashion, the radio. You can email us if you like, jcs at 979 ESPNradio.com. You can find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. You can use the WTSM app. And, of course, we've got the YouTube feed up and running. Just the audio today, no video, as we're a skeleton crew here on the Jeff Cameron Show these days. But, again, we've all had to adapt. Good to be with you. Happy Libations Friday. A little loosey-goosey edition of the program per usual as we head into a holiday weekend. Really quick, right out the gates, we're going to bring in the head football coach at Florida State. Thought it'd be nice to have a short chat with Coach Norvell and see what his thoughts are on a few things here and get caught up. Hey, Coach, how are you?
Doing well, Jeff. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Family okay? Everybody doing all right? Hanging in there?
Oh, yeah. We're all working through the process. You know, it's definitely been an interesting last couple of months, but it's really been great just for our family to truly get settled into Tallahassee and obviously making our home feel like our home, and
Sure.
That's been an incredible process for everyone.
Well, I know it's a weird time, and you're not able to do a lot of things that you would otherwise be doing, and so I won't keep you forever today, but I did think it was important for the fans who listen to this show to be able to hear from you and kind of get a read. Some things have come out since we last talked, and first and foremost, of course, we heard the date announced that student-athletes would be able to return to campus and begin voluntary workouts soon enough. Of course, we still have to get the approval from the ACC. Looks like the SEC made an announcement about June the 8th. I won't ask you about hypotheticals, but I do want to know what the process has been like for you guys preparing to have student-athletes come back and what that looks like, what you're preparing to do for when the voluntary workouts can begin.
Well, it's something that there's so many different layers that really kind of fall into place when those decisions are being made and those plans are being put together. So we have a plan for just about every situation or every possibility. And I tell you that from top down, from the state of Florida, the NCAA, all aspects of our administration, we've all been evaluating the best possibilities and policies that we could put into place that when we do get the green light to get our young men back on campus and begin with those voluntary workouts, that our number one concern is the safety of our student athletes, obviously our staff, and all the things that go into it. But really just throughout this entire pandemic, we've had to explore all different options, and we've had a multitude of plans that have been in place just in case that something changed and we had to be able to respond. We wanted to make sure we had a great deal of variation in those possibilities.
I know, Coach, you are able to speak to your football players and have meetings. It's limited, of course, the number of hours that you can do that. And I'm assuming you've had your Zoom meetings and individually or by segments. I'm not real sure how it works. I guess I'd ask you to lend some insight, shed some light as to whether they're going to give you more time. I don't know if the NCAA said that. You only got 3 practices with the guys originally. And then also, when you have your meetings, whether that's via the phone or Zoom or whatever it might be, are you able to do anything at all, such as, let's say, install at all? I know it's awkward. I know it's not ideal, but I'm just kind of curious what you're able to talk to your players about.
Yeah, we've tried to stay connected as much as possible and definitely do that in a variety of different ways. We have been, focused on doing, football installs. We've also, kind of ventured into, personal and professional development. We've really tried to do a couple different things in regards to team building, just trying to maximize the time that we do have. And I think our players have done a great job with that. By the looks of it, from everything that I've seen, June is going to be, voluntary physical workout, much like what guys have done, here, at home, and we've been able to provide them all with workout plans. We just haven't been able to monitor it in any aspect, and so. Getting them back, that's the way I said that we're going to be able to continue with the virtual meetings, but that if we do have facilities open, then that the kids can come in and, voluntarily get their workouts, here on campus. So those are things that we're trying to make the most of each meeting and every minute that we do get with our players. And for us being a first-year staff, we're still going through the process of trying to instill, our philosophy and our approach. And, our guys have done a really nice job of, trying to invest their time and make sure that, not only are we learning the new language, but we're trying to get a big picture approach of why we're doing what we do. I've been sending guys, I start each week, on Sunday, I send every player on our team a video, going into greater detail of some aspect of our program. And, a lot of it has been, philosophical and, trying to get a deeper perspective on answering the why we do all the things that we do. And I think our guys have really enjoyed and embraced that. And it's been fun watching those guys grow. And I know we're all excited about getting back together as soon as we possibly can.
Yeah, and I know it's obviously you've been throwing a curveball, but I tell you what, something that did come out that speaks to buy-in and speaks to philosophy, it speaks to missions and what it is you're trying to get these kids to understand has been your success, your legacy at Memphis, not only in winning the conference, but finishing atop the conference in the APR scores. And, Coach, right here, Leonard Hamilton over the basketball program won the league this year and finished third in the ACC in the APR. So you can win games and you can go to class and you can achieve greatness in academics as well. And part of your personal legacy is that as an individual coach for a singular season, you were top 15 in the APR. Talk a little bit about that. I know it's something you got to be proud of, and it's certainly something that caught my eye.
Well, I truly believe that's the only way that you can sustain success. Anybody can have success for a season. I want to be able to help build our student athletes so that they're going to be able to sustain success in every aspect of their life. And, I know I've said on the show before, but I am a firm believer that how you do anything is going to be how you do everything. And so I want our guys, they all talk about wanting to achieve greatness on the field. I want that same desire and application to pursuit of greatness off the field. And that's something that I was really pleased with our guys. Even in this first semester, we had adversity thrown our way. We were challenged. We had to move to all online classes. Guys were in remote situations, and but I thought they responded at a very high level. And we finished with the highest team GPA in program history. We had a 3.12 team GPA. Our guys really did an incredible job of rising to the occasion. But, even coupled with that in all of our exit meetings, it was a great opportunity to show them that it could have been better. There were still missed opportunities, so things that, where guys could, continue to push themselves, because all I want them to be is the best version of them. And if we can accomplish that off the field, on the field, in the classroom, then we've got a chance to do something really great with these young men.
Coach, I'm curious, look at another aspect of what you're tasked with doing, and that is, of course, evaluating players and bringing in new student athletes to play football here. How do you evaluate recruits right now?
We're spending a lot of time together as a staff virtually, making sure that each one of those the situations, and whether it's a specific recruit or how we're going through the process of building those relationships. It's a great investment in time, and I think our staff's doing a really nice job. We're trying to paint the picture for who we are, what we're going to be, and doing I think a really nice job of that in regards to building that relationship either virtually or on the phone. We're just excited to when we get these kids on campus. It was unfortunate that we missed out on a lot of these opportunities. I mean, it was the first ever dead period in the month of February, so that was taken away from us. And then, just in only getting 12 days in March, I mean, a lot of these kids were excited to see us coach to see really who we are on the field, and it's kind of you're forcing us to have a little bit of a delay in that process. But we definitely built some great relationships, and I will say that it has given us more time in regards to being able to look ahead and obviously build those those lists for not only the 21 but the 22, 23 classes here moving forward. So there has been some benefit when it's come to that.
Yeah, Coach, for the younger kids, is it simply looking at their YouTube or Huddle highlights? I mean, how do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You got to rely on. We've been making a lot of phone calls to high school coaches. Obviously trying to get all the information that we could possibly get from a variety of sources that are around these young men, and then also you got to watch film. I mean, you watch highlights, you watch game tapes, and that's something that as young men are growing and developing, it does get a little bit more challenging with some of the younger players, just because you see so much growth from where they were in last fall to where they are now here at what would be the end point of their spring practice. And it's just it's one of those processes that I hate that we're missing out on it, but we're going to do the best job that we possibly can, and definitely look forward to getting these guys on campus as soon as we possibly can as well.
Coach, I really appreciate you taking some time for us today, and it's good to hear from you. Be well, stay safe, and we'll talk to you again real soon, hopefully real soon.
All right, Jeff, thanks so much for having me on, and go Noles.
Go Noles, take care. That's the head coach, Mike Norvell, taking some time for us here to start the Jeff Cameron Show. That interview brought to you by our good friends at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning, making that possible, and we appreciate all of those who are on board with us. These have been trying times for a lot of businesses. Obviously, a lot of us in the community are all kind of pulling together, and we appreciate the help we get from Barano Heating and Air Conditioning and their sponsorship of that Mike Norvell interview. We'll take some time here, kind of digest that, take a quick break, and come back, and let's talk about what Coach Norvell just had to say. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
These days my friends don't seem to know me. Barry knows school, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows school, you can put him to the test.
Your home has been a place of great comfort. We can help you keep it that way. Barano Heating and Air is helping you get ready for summer with $1,500 off select new units, 0% financing for qualified buyers, plus worry-free maintenance plans. Learn more or schedule online at baranoac.com. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air today. Florida license CAC 1816186.
Attention Tallahassee, Phase 1 is Phase Patio at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill will be serving up the coldest, crispest refreshments and their signature delicious jumbo wings, all while adhering to responsible social distancing. You know this is the best time of the year to sit on the outdoor patio or deck, so make the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway your first and most frequent stop for Phase Patio. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Order takeout today at cptallybar.com. That's cptallybar.com. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping remind you to prepare your property for hurricane season. If you have trees on your property, it is crucial to have them inspected before a major hurricane. Contact AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping today, 385-3319. That's 385-3319, or online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAATreeExperts.net.
At Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we are open and ready for business. It's our huge Memorial Day weekend sale. We can't be stopped celebrating these deals. New cars with a baffling 0.9% APR for 84 months. May is also Ram Truck Month with outrageous discounts, up to $11,000 off MSRP on some remaining 2019 Rams. Cash in on our Detroit Special. Employee pricing on 2020 Wranglers and Gladiators. And pocket these never-before offered mind-blowing savings. Receive 0% for 72 months on almost a dozen models and save thousands. These savings are shocking. Our First Responders program will get you an extra $500 this weekend only. We are so proud of our healthcare professionals. We are offering the same $500 to all of you as well. Only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the corner of Capitol Circle and West Tennessee. We're right on the corner and always right on the price. Must qualify through Chrysler Credit for special financing. All rebates and incentives apply, plus tax tag and dealer fee.
Hey guys, how are you? This is Eddie from Gordo's Restaurants and Bumpa's Local 349. I just want to let you guys know that we here in the local community love to have you back. It's 25%, we know, but we're doing the best that we can to serve you and do what we do the way we do it. Same great food, a little bit more space. And we're not the only ones. There's lots of local restaurants out there. Just remember, eat local, drink local, be local. Come see us.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with their Memorial Day sale happening May 22nd through the 25th. All Nike golf shoes are 25% off. Score an epic deal on Callaway's Epic Flash Driver, now only $349. Save big with the G400 driver, now only $249. Remember, the more you buy, the more you save, and receive up to 25% off all apparel. Edwin Watts Golf Shops Memorial Day sale happening May 22nd and May 25th. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee, serving golfers since 1968.
Escúchame y visitan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Let me tell you, I feel badly for Larry Jordan. First of all, your brother's Michael Jordan. Second of all, your name's Larry. Like, there aren't very many names, Stugotz, that I could give you. Larry Jordan has appeared for like 7 seconds in this documentary, and I'm sure they talked to him for hours, but that's what it's like, being Larry Jordan.
Entire life.
It's got to be terrible, right? I mean, I guess it's great if you got a good relationship with your brother.
Did Jordan have anything nice to say about Larry Jordan?
I didn't hear anything nice about Larry Jordan. I was just surprised Larry Jordan got dressed up, did the interview. I'm sure spent a lot of time talking to them, and then they used 2 very short clips that merely allowed me to look at him and say, man, it must stink to be Michael Jordan's brother and be named Larry.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I'll watch the rain, it settled in, disappeared for days again. Most of us were staying in, lazy like the sky. Letters flew across the wire, filtered through a million lies. The whole world smelled like burning ties the day John Henry died.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Happy Libations Friday. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Mike Norvell, head coach Florida State, joined us a moment ago. First segment of the show came out the gate swinging as we had a chance to hear from the head man. We'll post that shortly. Get that up for those of you that are running errands, perhaps just need a little moment there to hear from the head coach and what we're doing there. He seems to be in good spirits. I think he's probably chomping at the bit. We all are. Everybody's excited to get back to some sense of normalcy, understanding that there's a long way to go and some real precautions to take, and you don't want to be flippant as you talk about these things or think about these things or engage in these things. But you do obviously aspire, we all do, to seeing that and returning to a normal work day, and in his case, that involves coaching.
It'll be interesting. The SEC, of course, released information, as you alluded to in the interview, that June 8th is when they can start voluntary workouts as a conference.
Yep.
And
they can come back on June the 1st, but June 8th is when they can start.
I'd be interested to see if the ACC makes that sort of grand proclamation or not. The SEC is a far more regional conference than the ACC.
Well, and I don't think, I'll give you a clue here. What listen, I've talked with people. It doesn't mean that this is 100% what's going to happen. Don't take it as gospel. But let me just say this, okay? I get the sense that the ACC is not going to mirror what the SEC did for that very reason, Tom. This conference is spread out up and down the Eastern Seaboard. You've got, in Boston and New York all the way down to Miami. So the footprint's very different, and I think what will happen is it will be staggered. Like so many things, this is not going to be in lockstep. There's not going to be a unified approach, both for Power 5 conferences, but also in the league. I think in the ACC, Florida State, Miami, Georgia Tech, a number of other schools in the South are going to get started. Schools in the North are not. That's how I think that's going to play out. Are they at a disadvantage? Yep. Sorry. But, I mean, we've had this discussion before. I understand you want to go in lockstep with your conference and you try to be considerate of everybody, but if you can start, and because the situation is different where you're at as opposed to somebody else like Syracuse, you really can't let that stand in the way. I'm sorry.
I just wonder if the ACC would then release a statement. If they did in the last 10 minutes, I guess, they did, but would they release a statement that says something to the effect of it's up to the states? It's up to the states in which the universities are conducting their business. Yeah.
I would think so. I guarantee you our governor's going to tell the folks at Syracuse, if you want to train down here in the great state of Florida, come on down.
We'll find you a facility.
We'll find you a facility. That's what you're going to hear him say. So I don't know. Back to Coach Norvell for a second. I think he was in good spirits, as good a spirits as you could be in given the circumstances. I know he's eager to be able to lay his eyes on his players again and talk to them. You can only hope. There's some of this, you like to think that you were able to engender the spirit of what you're looking for and what you want out of this larger group moving forward, to become a program, to take ownership, to do the things that they value. You would like to think you were able to accomplish some of that in the brief time you had with them before this pandemic hit and everybody got separated, but you just can't know until you see them and they come back. Who's been working? Who's bought in? Who's a believer? Who do you still have to convince? Who do you need to perhaps separate from? You really can't do everything you wanted to do until you're able to operate in close quarters again and see it for yourself. And so that part of it's got to be tough. I'm sure there will be disappointments. I'm sure there'll be surprises in a good way. But I think it's difficult too because not everybody has the same access to the same resources, whether that's diet, whether that's facilities to work out or equipment, whatever it might be. You got kids that are sprinkled throughout the state and throughout the South, throughout the country for that matter. And so you just don't know how much they were able to do while they were away. I mean, there may have been a lot of kids that wanted to engage and get after it and were bought in and doing everything right, but just didn't have access to the same kind of nutrition they would have. That's one question I didn't get a chance to ask. We kind of took a right turn and I wasn't able to get back to it, but I should have asked him, frankly, whether or not when the students come back on June the 1st and can begin their workouts, voluntary workouts, will the university be feeding them? I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
I mean, will football players eat like football players?
Yeah, I would assume so. And if it is June 1st, maybe it's June the 8th. We'll see.
Whatever.
When the official comes down. I saw an athletic article today in which players were polled. And this is an interesting article because, in all the other sports, you're hearing very much from the players as to whether or not they want to play, the circumstances under which they'd feel comfortable playing. College athletics, you really don't hear that. So this article tried to remedy, but I don't know what player pool it is. Is it a smattering of players from all regions across the country? Is it predominantly Big Ten countries, Southeastern countries, whatever? But what I found interesting was they're doing a 1 to 5 question saying, very affected or not affected at all. And the vast majority of players who responded to a question about nutrition, how much has it been affected? The vast majority said not much at all. I find that hard to believe. I would think that the nutrition part of things, when you have unlimited meals in college and you have a plan laid out before you, like Jimbo used to do with the gainers table or the losers table for your weight, I would think you'd be affected greatly by going home.
I would. I think from what we were able to learn, the universities could send like supplements, not like the kind of supplements we need, Tom Lane.
right. Yeah.
But they could, whether that's muscle milk or whatever it is, like I think they were able to send boxes of that stuff to their student athletes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they could. But that's minimal. That's only a small part of what we're doing when we're talking about nutrition. It's helpful. It's helpful. I mean, but those are just, supplemental throughout the day. I don't know. You're right. It's not the same. But I know that they could lay the plan out before them and say, this is the track you're on. This is what we're trying to get you to do. And then from there, I mean, it's a matter of whether or not, unfortunately for those kids, whether or not their parents could afford to buy it.
Does it surprise you at all that he has plans for every iteration of what could possibly happen?
No, it's one of the great things about the hiring of Coach Norvell, we think. We'll have to see it. We'll have to see it play out in reality. But, you talk to the people at Memphis, and I have, and you have, and we've read the articles, and you hear from his former players. And one thing comes up time and again. It's not just that we're hoping and thus projecting these qualities on him. His track record suggests it's absolutely something that is accurate to describe him as, and that is thorough and prepared. He is obviously a high-motor guy who has got a plan. He's meticulous with that plan, and guys seem to buy in and follow it. And that's why I brought up the APR, by the way, because I think it speaks to a greater vision here. Listen, it's always feel good to talk about kids getting good grades, but I get it. Those good grades are not something you hang your hat on if you're 18 and 20. If you suck in your tenure here, we'll say, great, thanks for making them go to class, but now you're fired because you're not winning games. But I think what it does say is that his players have bought into the big picture, and he just told you he believes it is absolutely essential in order to sustain long-term success and become the best version of yourself. You have to buy into every aspect of the program, and the big part of that, obviously, given that it is college football, academics. And so when I see that Memphis finishes first in the APR in their conference 3 years in a row, and they win the damn conference and break school records for the number of wins over that 3-year span.
And maybe you'd look at it out there like they won the damn conference and they finished first in the APR. They finished first in the APR.
Yeah, that's a nice added bonus. Yeah. Well, believe me, I'm not sitting around talking about Florida State's in Florida State's basketball's APR. I'm talking about their wins. I'm talking about winning the conference. I'm talking about winning the ACC's regular season title. I'm talking about what they would have been seeded in the NCAA tournament. I'm talking about the possibility of another Sweet 16, Elite 8, or Final Four appearance, all that kind of stuff. And then on the back end, hey, isn't it pretty cool they're accomplishing all that while kicking ass in the classroom? Yeah, it is. It's a nice. Now, listen, I get it. If you're old school traditional and you're all about academics and what the college experience is and should be about, obviously, that's very important to you. I suppose if you're a professor, an administrator at a university, that would be higher on your list of concerns. I get all that, but I know how fans are. I know what fans think about. I know fans are thinking about, are we winning games? Well, yes. In that case, they are winning games and they're going to class, and it's a reason, it's an added reason to feel an awful lot of pride. But in the case of Mike Norvell, and I think it's probably true of Leonard Hamilton as well, the buy-in factor that we talk about, the whole of a program, he needs guys to get the big picture. And part of that big picture is certainly your academics and getting the most out of the experience while you're here.
And when he talks about that stuff, it comes across. We've brought this up a few times over the past couple of weeks, reminiscing on our old childhood or whatever. He is the type of teacher that when he walks in the room, whether it's your math or science teacher, if Norvell is that guy, you shut up and you sit down. It comes across that he means business. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's not sternly worded, but powerfully worded, those videos that he's circulating every Sunday. That's an interesting nugget, that the players can expect a video from Mike Norvell every Sunday talking about
various aspects of the program,
the philosophical nature of what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important. Again, you're trying to create a buy-in. You're trying to engender a certain mindset and belief and work ethic. And I think even though you got separated physically and you weren't able to have the practices that you want, you got to hear from your head coach. You got to hear that. I think that it's important, and I think it's important that he sit down and think really hard about what he's sending them, because this is a time to further connect, even if you're separated, and he has an opportunity there, and I'm sure he sees it that way. He's so prepared, and he is thorough. I think he probably does take a lot of time to think, what do I want to say here, and why? What am I trying to achieve with this message? What do I need them to understand? And so, I'd love to be privy to some of those, too. I am kind of curious. Obviously, he's a very engaged speaker. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
And now, an ad from Dad.
Save money on car insurance when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Yeah. Tell you another way to save money, don't buy those expensive coffees every morning, And then you can save up for a really nice dress shirt, I'm just saying, it's great that you feel comfortable here at work, but, an adult could walk in.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
With a Bojangles 3-piece Chicken Supreme snack, you get a plate of bold, boneless chicken and a hot, fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit for just $3.99. Or, if you'd rather 2 pieces of bone-in fried chicken with a biscuit and a fixin', don't you worry, because that's $3.99 too. It's such a good deal, you can knock out dinner and balance your budget in one fell swoop. Because if you're going to take out 2 birds with 1 stone, they ought to be delicious. Bojangles. It's bow time.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
Planning on expanding or renovating your home or business? Did you know that these construction projects start with preliminary work such as professional sets of drawings and proper engineering? Before you apply for financing or sign a lease agreement, allow our team of contractors, architects, and engineers to assist you with planning and budgeting. Hello, I'm Travis, owner of T-Spark Enterprises, and I am here because we want your project to launch on the right foot. Call us today and we will take care of your construction needs. We aim to provide work that will exceed your expectations, guaranteeing picture-perfect results.
Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
License number CGC 1525336.
AAA Tree Experts has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer landscaping? AAA landscaping services include custom outdoor landscape, creative landscape design and architecture, hardscapes, waterscapes, retention walls, and French drains, irrigation and sodding, landscape and holiday lighting. Call them today for all your outdoor landscaping needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping.
Cigars of Tally is your one-stop shop for everything cigars. With 2 convenient locations, Cigars of Tally is here to serve you. The 1401 Market Street location is right off I-10 and great for travelers and after-work stops. The Midtown location, Cigars of Tally Lounge and Bar at 926 North Monroe Street, is great for those winding down from a long day. With the largest humidor in town, affordable cigar lockers, a large covered patio, and private conference rooms, there's something for everyone to enjoy. Cigars of Tally, open 7 days a week. Need cigars? Get your ash in here.
Attention Tallahassee, Phase 1 is Phase Patio at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill will be serving up the coldest, crispest refreshments and their signature delicious jumbo wings, all while adhering to responsible social distancing. You know this is the best time of the year to sit on the outdoor patio or deck, so make the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway your first and most frequent stop for Phase Patio. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Order takeout today at cptallybar.com. That's cptallybar.com. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Seminole headlines.
Brian writes, is there a better song we can play going into fourth quarter than Eastbound and Down? I love Burt and all, but don't think this song is catching on. I hate to say it, but the Gators got this right with Tom Petty's I Won't Back Down. It's fun and the whole crowd gets into it. Any suggestions?
That's a tough situation. It's a tough situation.
It's a tough situation. You're not going to outdo Tom Petty. That's going to be a tough sell, and there is nobody that, musician-wise, graduated from Florida State that wrote an anthemic song that the country loves.
Isn't Creed a Tallahassee band?
No, dare even mention it. That one of the worst bands ever assembled. That should never happen.
Just imagine, though. Try to imagine this, Jeff. You're in a 21-20 game with Miami.
Yeah.
You got Miami's driving.
Yeah. And
at the 32-yard line. You go to the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. With arms wide open, good mood ahead. I mean, the whole crowd would be singing that song, Jeff. Miami would just melt if they would melt into a puddle if they heard 80,000 people singing, or 20,000 singing Arms Wide Open.
If you want to have fun, go look up that ridiculous Marlins anthem that the lead singer from Creed wrote. It's unbelievable. And the Marlins actually played it. It's one of the worst songs you have ever heard in your life.
Was there a theme song to The Longest Yard? Because that was a classic Burt Reynolds football movie.
It was, yeah. I don't think there was a theme song that I recall. No.
I think it was with arms wide open.
Tuesday night on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios in Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill. Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
This ain't the heartache that I thought I knew. This ain't the party that I thought we'd do. Got your limit, baby.
Want to just sit and listen to music? You guys want me to turn into a DJ now, and I'll start playing my tunes, and we'll pop a cold one together? Next 2.5 hours, somewhere around 5 o'clock, we'll rerun the Norvell interview, and after that's over, we'll just continue to play some music. I could do it, but we would be in violation, I think, of some sort of FCC thingy.
We don't have full musical rights. We've got talkers' music rights.
Yeah. I wish we had full music rights, but that's a pretty penny. So
that is one crazy industry, the enforcement of those things.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And the way they do it on YouTube, too, man, they'll weed you out with the quickness. When we post this show, when the video, when we post it, if there's, you guys can tell when you go back, if you use your YouTube feed to listen to the show or go back and catch up on the show, you don't get to hear the bumper because YouTube's not having that. I mean, 2 seconds. If it's more than 2 seconds, they just cut it, don't they? The whole thing.
Well, either they cut it or you can't monetize the video because YouTube will pay you if you get enough views. That's why so many kids these days want to be professional YouTubers because there's real money in it if you can get the views.
Yeah, there is, and it drives me nuts. My boys are part of that nation's youth that get excited about posting content.
Do they watch the channels that have like the people playing the video games, or what kind of YouTubers do they love?
They love that. They love. There's some guy's name that they talk about.
Ninja.
They've mentioned him. There's another guy that's really popular. This guy's become a millionaire just by posting his damn video game prowess.
Loser.
I call him loser, and then they say, "Dad, watch this." I go, "No, I'm not going to."
Have you seen the marble races on YouTube?
No.
The guy does a huge production value of racing marbles, and it's really hilarious. It's kind of a joke, but it's fun. And it's like he calls the race, and he's got these huge tracks, or sometimes it's outside, and it's like down the side of a hill through like sandy canals. And like there's a board, the leaderboard on the right. It tells you what the splits are for the laps. Yeah, it's like professionally put together. Yeah, it's really entertaining.
For a brief period of time.
Yeah, but I mean, it's fun. Yeah. You just, if you're looking for something to help you forget, there you go, 10 minutes.
My kids, man, it drives me nuts. They're like, oh, so-and-so's posting his latest on Fortnite. I'm like, that's a thing. That's a thing. That kid's getting rich off of posting his video of him playing Fortnite. Damn it, man.
How does Fortnite not say, hey, got to pay the piper? You're showing our footage from our video game.
I don't know how any of that works. I probably should, but man, they do it, and you look at it, hundreds of thousands of views. Hundreds of thousands of kids just sitting there watching this guy play a game of Fortnite. It's unreal. It's unreal. I never thought I'd be the dad that doesn't get stuff. Like, what I mean is, it's natural. Every generation hates something about the next generation, right? Well, my day, that's where the joke comes from. The get off my lawn guy is, in essence, every generation that hates the next generation. It's just like, look, I'm Generation X, and I'm part of that group that hates millennials, right? We just don't get millennials. Actually, millennials, in a way, are hated by every other group that ever existed, before or since. But
to be precise on the Spring Breakers this year, those are Gen Z people. Those are not millennials. We've graduated out of the undergrad.
Right. Well, those are kids just being stupid and doing stupid things because kids do stupid things.
But you old people all say, well, millennials, like, hey, our time
but you
has
don't
come.
even like to classify yourself as that. You loathe millennials too.
I do.
Soft-ass group of people. Anyhow.
They are in a lot of ways. Yep. They think the internet is more real than the real world around them, and that bothers me. But I will defend them because, unfortunatally, I'll be here with them.
Technically, you're
I've got to play the long game here.
Yeah. They struggle. Their feelings get hurt pretty easy. But anyhow, what I would tell you is...
It's Twitter, man. It's not real. You can put that down.
Yeah.
That's my number one message to all the millennials. You can put it down.
Yeah. You don't have to. But anyhow, let me get back to what I was going to tell you, which is that I never thought that, okay, enough time would pass from my youth to when I was viewing youth from afar, and in this case it's my children, that they would be engaged in something that I wouldn't at least be able to relate to from a previous era, where I'd say, okay, well, that's not the same, but it's akin to what we did in 1985. So I understand, different times, different age, different technology, but it's basically the same thing, right? They're trying to figure out whatever it is, right? The stuff, I've said this on the air, the whole generation of kids, and I'm part of a generation that is very different from the ones that are older than me in the sense that, I have friends in their 50s and 60s, and we get each other pretty much, but they don't get video games. They didn't grow up playing video games. People in their 60s didn't. So I really was the first generation that had, my generation, I'm 48, video games from the time we were little on. So I get that. I understand the escapism. I understand being able to tune out, turn off, relax, have a little fun, do something mindless. I also get the fact that this is how a lot of these kids connect. They connect with each other. Well, and I'm not even talking about during the time of COVID where that's the only way they can connect. But even previous to that, this is the same as having like a birthday party or having friends over to hang out in the neighborhood. For them, this is social. This is about sitting down and talking to Chad and Jerry and Steve and all these guys that are normally in their classes while they all play their games.
Jerry's having a comeback, huh?
Yeah, Jerry's making a comeback. So I get it. That part of it I get. But the sitting down, watching a YouTube channel of somebody playing a video game, I don't get it at all.
It's the Bobby Fischer chess thing of our time.
I guess
that would be what it is. Because who wants to watch a guy play chess? I would never understand that. Bobby Fischer, great story, whatever. I ain't watching him.
No, I'm not watching him play chess. I'll look at the moves and and think about the strategy that he employed, and that's kind of fun. But no, I'm not watching somebody.
People were locked in on that though in the time, weren't they?
I guess
it was a TV event.
Well, it was because he was facing the Russian. This was about America versus Russia in the Cold War.
Yeah, but they're facing the blue team and they're the red team, It's first to 50.
I just don't get it. And they get locked in for hours.
I remember the first video of that kind I ever saw because we used to get, when we were kids, like if the game was hard, like it was an RPG and maybe you're 11 or 12 and you're playing The Legend of Zelda, right? And you got to figure out these puzzles and all that stuff. You could get if you didn't want to use the Game Genie, which was cheating, you could go get the magazine.
Yeah, I remember those.
And it's the perfect guide, and it tells you where all the tricks are, and it's like, all right, this is how you do this. Now kids just go to YouTube to figure out how to beat a level. But I remember, first thing I ever saw, Halo 2, the guy was called the No-Scope King because it's the sniper. Mm-hmm. He could kill you from half across the map without using the scope. It was the damnedest thing I ever saw.
Yeah, and you would not watch that for hours.
No, but the 5 minutes, I was like, wow. But it's like anything else. That is the door opening, and the younger generation.
Sure.
I was used to dial-up internet. I'm the only generation that had to deal with dial-up internet. Like, it was broadband within 5 years.
Yeah. I saw it all come to be.
Once the floodgates open, it used to be that Napster and LimeWire and Kazaa took forever to download an MP3.
Funny story. So, because, again, I watched the birth of the internet. And my kids laugh at that. They're like, Dad, you lived when there was no internet. Like, that is correct. It makes them laugh when they're like, not only did you live, you went to school when there was no internet. I'm like, oh, yes, that is correct. The internet came at the tail end of my schooling. That was the end of it. I mean, I was finishing college and the internet came along. It was just barely.
And in my generation, we had computer games as like a reward time. But when I was in 2nd, 3rd grade, these are the floppy disk games.
Oh, floppy disk, baby.
Yeah,
I remember the big old floppy disk. Yeah. Well, people learned how to copy the games, steal them in essence. And I had a friend who was good at it. He would steal all the games, and I'd get so excited. He'd hand me like 8 floppy disks. He'd be like, here you go. Here's Karateka. All right, Karateka. And so but the point is, when I talk to them about that, I say, yes, I remember it. And you know what? Sometimes I think, and I can hear myself. I'm like, sometimes I think it was a simpler and better time. It's odd we're this connected and so lonely. You know?
Well, I think when you're trying to deal with preteens and teens, that's 100% true.
I know.
100% true. They can't get a break. They're going to be, if they're being harassed or made fun of,
no.
It doesn't go away.
It's dangerous. It never ends, right? There's no respite.
And it's hard to tell them, much like I try to tell my millennial brethren, you could put it down, it's not real. Try telling that to, a kid who, when they go back to school, that's all that everybody uses as social currency. Good freaking luck.
Yeah, we live in a bully generation, which is odd. Bullies have always existed, of course, but it's a different kind of bullying now, and so obviously we're seeing the negative results of that. But I've sat there and I've told my wife this. I really hope, within reason, I really hope that my kids never have to go through something like that, because as a parent, I wouldn't handle it well. I wouldn't handle it like an adult. I'd drive to Jimmy's house and kill him. We're going to have a problem. Like, it's going to be, we're going to get to.
Well, I'm not saying I'm going to physically kill Jimmy, like, in the moment, but Jimmy will know that this has to stop now. And otherwise, we're going to have real repercussions. And so that's not very productive on my part. I just know that would be me. No, my jaw was on the floor for 5 minutes talking to my oldest sister in Atlanta, because she's got 3 kids. Their oldest is about to go to high school. And they finally, for 8th grade graduation, which just happened for her, they got her phone. She was the last one in her class by far. And my sister was a stalwart, saying, no way. Phone once you get to high school, but before that, what are we doing? But now she's talking about, group texts, and it's not like chat rooms in the old days, but like a group text and the politics of the group text.
Yeah, and they make fun of other people who
she's
are
fielding
on the
calls
text.
from other kids' moms, or third party that my niece isn't even on those texts, but do you know anything about them? She's like, you wouldn't even believe the conversations we have to have. And how stupid some of them are. She says they'll figure it out to some of the parents. It's fine, they'll figure it out. But then other ones are very serious, and she goes, oh my God. This is in text forever. Like, that bubble is there. You can't take that away.
Well, listen, by the way, if you want to bring this back to sports and coaching, and we've talked about this a lot, but that's a very real thing that coaches today deal with, this constant reminder to their student athletes, what you say in those texts, what you say on a message boards, what you say in an email, what you post on a Snapchat or an Instagram or any of these things, man, that could make the difference between you continuing your college career and going on to the pros or not. Literally, look how many of these old tweets have come back to haunt athletes, many of whom said dumb things, really dumb things, in some cases racist things, some cases sexual content, things like that, when they were 15 years old, 14 years old, and it's all come back to the surface after they make it into a big-time university or professional league. And I hate that we do that as a society, that, some kid's 28 years old now and he said something really dumb when he was 16. Well, I said a lot of dumb things when I was 16, not heinous, but things that if you just looked at the cold, hard text or saw a video without context, you might be like, what the hell's wrong with Jeff Cameron? It's just
I see that. I see that stuff because Facebook was supposed to be a sanctuary for college kids when I first logged on to Facebook when I was a freshman. And that's the fall. This is now 15 years ago. Right?
Well, the Facebook generation is screwed. We've talked about that before. There are so many things posted on that social media account in particular that people can find as you go into the workplace 10, 12 years later that,
Oh, I could tell you, it's not just as simple as untagging yourself from photos in college and you're like, that's a little dicey. I don't know. Don't want that on my LinkedIn. Yeah. But there are memories every day. It's like, here are your memories. And every day I'm like, all right, 07, 08, 09, let's take a look. Let's go back, see what I posted on somebody's wall. Let's see what they posted on my wall. Mm-hmm. I'll text my friends like, hey, man, pull that. Remember from May 07? let's pull that post. Because we were at that time when we thought it was free for all.
Private.
This is a private place for college kids only. And then they go public, and you're like, oh my God, my mom could have an account. No,
I had to learn the most valuable lesson of being a pseudo. I'm in a smallish town. I love Tallahassee; it's my home. But so when I say public figure, I say so with a grain of salt. I get it. But when I first started in radio and started to get a following, I learned the most valuable lesson about things you say on the internet coming back to haunt you. And mine was in an email. I used to respond when we had like 10 listeners.
This is a good story.
50 listeners.
I know this one.
I used to respond to everybody that emailed me. And it could be hate mail. It could be praise. It could be a question. It could be anything. It could be an observation. I was trying to grow the show. This is more than 20 years ago. And I was honored that they were listening. I was so excited. I was green in the field. And it just was cool to me. Like, oh my God, that person was listening to something I said. They had an opinion about it. They're asking a follow-up question. And I actually still know some people to this day who, in fact, were some people that emailed me. Anyhow, in the early days. So I'd get back to everybody. Now I can't, luckily, because we have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of listeners. And that's great. But this woman was emailing me this is back when I was doing the morning show. She was emailing me every morning. I'd get this email. I would be in the office by 4 a.m. for a 6 a.m. start to the show. And I would sit down and begin to prep. And I would read this woman's email who was dogging me for not spending more time breaking down the Tallahassee Tiger Sharks. For those that are relatively new to the community and have never heard of that, the Tallahassee Tiger Sharks played hockey here in Tallahassee, a minor league hockey club right here in good old Tallahassee. It was awesome.
A disgrace that they're gone.
It's horrible. I loved it.
We'd have their broadcast rights, I guarantee you.
Oh, and it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. I still call some of the people who were part of that organization friends to this day. Anyhow, I even got to be a goalie in between periods and take shots and all that good stuff, and it was fun. But as this woman was telling me that I needed to spend an hour of every show breaking down the Tallahassee Tiger Sharks, their next opponent, and interviewing play, I was like, ma'am, honestly, it's minor league hockey. We don't have access to a lot of the other clubs in the league, and frankly, I don't want to spend an hour every day talking about the Tiger Sharks. We'll have a player on every now and again. Corey Patterson or somebody will come on for us, but I'm not doing an hour. So that's very, very simple, straightforward response to that request of hers. She kept emailing. And then the Tiger Sharks were unfortunately struggling at the time, and it looked like they may be moving, shutting down the organization and all of that, and they were unfortunately unable to sustain their relationship with the radio station, Tom. It was beginning to wane.
It's an organization in hockey.
That's right, yeah, just to know. And this lady kept pestering every morning, and she was getting belligerent about it, and I lost my patience. And so, in a blistering response, I explained the many reasons that I would not be responding to her emails anymore, and moreover, would not be talking about the Tiger Sharks.
Was there any moment of all caps or exclamation points?
There were exclamation points. There were no all caps. There was some language. I had crossed the line in an email response, thinking that this woman was a normal human being and wouldn't elicit that response after weeks of pestering somebody, only to then save the email and forward it to our sponsors and the Tallahassee Tiger Sharks, which is what she did. And when I would get done with the morning show, obviously would be pretty tired, working on very little sleep. I would have a post-show meeting with the great Lee Bowen, rest in peace, and then I would go home and take a nap, and I would come back later that day. Eric Llewellyn would do his afternoon show, and sometimes I would utilize the other studios to show prep, things like that. And Lee usually wanted to go over something with me before the next day's show. When I came back in, Lee, rather tersely, said, "Can I see you in my office, please?" It was not a normal, "Hey, Jeff, how are you? How'd your nap go?" Da-da-da-da-da. It was, "Can I see you in my office, please?" I was like, here we go. So I sat down, and he said, "Look at my computer." And I was like, "Okay." And I looked, and there was the email in all of its glory. Problem was, even if I wanted to deny it, it was sent at 4:42 a.m. I was the only person in the building. He said, did you write that? I did, Lee. I did write that email. Why would you do that? Well, can I show you the other emails she sent me the last several weeks before I did that? Yes, please do. And I did. He, I think, began to see the bigger picture, but nonetheless said, you need to go down and speak to the GM. He wants to talk to you. His name was John Hunt. I was fairly certain that my burgeoning radio career was over. And I walked in, and he asked me to shut the door. That's never good.
Oh, buddy.
Never good.
Oh, buddy.
Asked me to shut the door, so I did. I sat down. I was nervous.
Was there another person in the room?
No.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
That's a really good sign.
That's right. Yeah, normally the other person in the room is the witness to your firing. I get it. But no.
It's a terrible situation to be in.
Yes. But he just said shut the door, so I did. And he lectured me a little bit. It spoke to why that was a foolish endeavor on my part. Not a good look for the company. The potential legal problems with what I said and did there in that email. And he also said that he was going to suspend me, but he admitted, I'm going to announce that I'm suspending you without pay, but I'm going to pay you. So we'll let the public think that you got suspended without pay. In particular, this organization and this woman think that you're going to be suspended without pay. And all you've got to do is drive over to the TLC-CC and apologize to the president of the Tallahassee Tiger Sharks in person.
I don't remember that part of the story.
I did.
So you had the drive of shame.
I had the drive of shame over there to talk to the president of the Tiger Sharks. And I will always remember and appreciate how cool he was. I walked in to apologize, and he knew I was there. So it's ridiculous. You just look like a fool in your walk. So I walk in, and he's behind this table, and he kind of lets me squirm for a second. And I said, well, you know, I'm here. And he goes, I know why you're here. It was awful. And then he said, I'm not really concerned that you got upset with that woman. I'm not concerned with the language you used in your email. I'm not upset that you were frustrated with her. And I'm not even upset that you kind of dragged our good name through the mud, which I had.
Ooh, that's rough, though. That's a hell of a line.
It is. It is. He goes, I am concerned that some of what you had to say in this email simply isn't true. So let me educate you. And I was like, oh, okay. And he proceeded to lay out the finances and what was going on with the league and everything else. And I was then better informed moving forward.
So in today's day and age, if this exact same thing happened, I think you'd still have your job. But on the YouTube feed that next Monday, you would be in Tallahassee Tiger Sharks gear for sure. A jersey, a hat,
the whole deal.
The logo sunglasses you can't see through.
Yeah. It was classic. Yeah, but they did. They paid, and it was funny because I was making no money at the time. I mean, like $20,000 a year, and John Hunt was like, "Well, I'm going to pay you because I know you don't have any money." He's like, "You won't eat if I don't pay you." So I was like, "Thank you, John."
Appreciate that.
Pay my rent.
Old poverty line. That's a mother.
Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with. AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping remind you to prepare your property for hurricane season. If you have trees on your property, it is crucial to have them inspected before a major hurricane. Contact AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping today. 385-3319. That's 385-3319. Or online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAATreeExperts.net.
At Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we are open and ready for business. It's our huge Memorial Day weekend sale. We can't be stopped celebrating these deals. New cars with a baffling 0.9% APR for 84 months. May is also Ram Truck Month with outrageous discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on some remaining 2019 Rams. Cash in on our Detroit special. Employee pricing on 2020 Wranglers and Gladiators. And pocket these never-before offered mind-blowing savings. Receive 0% for 72 months on almost a dozen models and and save thousands. These savings are shocking. Our First Responders program will get you an extra $500 this weekend only. We are so proud of our healthcare professionals. We are offering the same $500 to all of you as well. Only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the corner of Capitol Circle and West Tennessee. We're right on the corner and always right on the price. Must qualify through Chrysler Credit for special financing. All rebates and incentives apply, plus tax tag and dealer fee.
Attention Tallahassee, Phase 1 is Phase Patio at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill will be serving up the coldest, crispest refreshments and their signature delicious jumbo wings, all while adhering to responsible social distancing. You know this is the best time of the year to sit on the outdoor patio or deck, so make the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway your first and most frequent stop for Phase Patio. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Order takeout today at cptallybar.com. That's cptallybar.com. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Stan Van Gundy with us on ESPN Radio. What did you make? I know this had to drive you crazy, of all the people saying on the Last Dance documentary, I wouldn't let us lose. Michael wouldn't let us lose. It wasn't one of the options.
I've always loved that saying in sports. And the one I heard first on The Last Dance was when they were playing Phoenix in the finals, and Charles Barkley said that about himself. I think it was Game 3 after they'd lost a couple. I wasn't going to let us lose. And every time I hear that, I'm saying, so then you decided to let them win the other 4 games? Like you decided I would let us lose the other 4? I've always wondered about some of these things in sports, like, oh, he wouldn't let them lose. Well, wait a minute, they lost X number of games that year. What was his decision in those? I don't get that.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Pros, keep those exterior maintenance projects going strong. Count on Lowe's for the items and supplies you need to get the job done. And now, take advantage of Memorial Day bulk savings on products like OSB, fence pickets, shingles, and more. We buy in bulk and pass those savings on to you. Shop today at lowesforpros.com. And don't forget, we're open at 6 a.m. so you can get started early and make the most of your day. Together, we can keep your business moving. Price and selection vary by market, U.S. only.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios in Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. Great to be with you. Hour number 2 underway. Let's go. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. Go ahead, go there. Find the show, refer it, clip the link, send it to the world. Let them know they're missing out on the Jeff Cameron Show and that's a crime. We'll post the show in its entirety upon the conclusion of it on iTunes as well as in our own audio vault. Already posted, if you go find me on Twitter, at Jay Cameron Show, the link to my Mike Norvell interview that began the show. Just a really kind of a short give and take there, about 10, 11 minutes long. for me and Coach Norvell. Didn't want to take too much of the man's time. There's not that much to talk about, but I thought it might be wise to hear from the head coach and find out what they are doing in preparation for student-athletes returning to campus and when they're given the go-ahead for voluntary workouts and all that good stuff. By the way, that interview brought to you by our friends at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning. Good job from them as well, as always, actually. Longtime companions of the Jeff Cameron Show. And ESPN Radio, for that matter. And I thought he sounded in good spirits, which was nice, meaning Coach Norvell, that is. Also, I saw where on Seminoles.com, also WarChant.com, they posted the conversation with who they have. They had Chris Thompson on. I saw that. I know, not the former running back Chris Thompson, but rather our new tight ends coach / former offensive line coach at TCU is what he was.
Maybe the guy to lean on for some questions if you're Alex Atkins.
Atkins was also on that chat, by the way, and it was good to watch that. I watched that this morning, and just I like the attitude that I see, that I hear, the things that they talk about. Atkins talked a lot about how he loves the added attention to the offensive line. He understands that it's a topic around here that we've been angst-ridden for some time with the offensive line play. He gets it. He knows what he's walking into. He understands the concerns of the many, and he thought it was great. He's like, look, I played at a time where nobody talked about the offensive linemen. Nobody cared about the big guys up front. All they cared about was the skill position players and who scored that touchdown, who made that catch, who ran the ball, who did this and that. And now he knows that knowledgeable football fans are very aware that you can have all the speed on the edges and all the versatility in the backfield you want. You better be able to block somebody or all of it is a moot point.
Yeah, in that talk, Coach Thompson brought something up that I really didn't think about all that much, and it's true. Sometimes when you hear running backs coach or tight end coach, right, you roll your eyes, you think recruiter. This is where you're going to stick a recruiter. But in Norvell's offense, the tight end is really, really important because of all the things they ask for that position to do. So this is not your typical throwaway position coach title just so you can be a glorified recruiter.
Yeah, and can I tell you, Tom, I am so excited to watch an offense that has a heavy reliance on the tight end to do a lot of different things, not just, be on the line as a sixth offensive lineman, but rather somebody who not only does that and has to be able to do that and has the strength and versatility to be a good blocker as well as receiver, route runner, all those things, but they also take him off the line. They use him a bit as an H-back and a lead blocker and the fullback role and all these different things that you're required to do, and they require that position to be manned by somebody who's got a pretty good handle, a very good handle on Norvell's offense because he's making decisions by what the defense is doing as to where he lines up. And so we just haven't seen that in so long here. We just haven't. I mean, we had an offense, obviously, in 2013, 2014 that utilized the tight end, and we had a good one. But it was more of a traditional sense in that, and he wasn't a really good blocker. In fact, he was a terrible blocker. So, what you had with him was a great pass receiver at the position.
Izzo could have been something, but yeah, afterwards.
Yeah. Izzo's still kicking around the league.
I know, but I just mean in this offense, he could have been.
Yeah, without question. But Florida State in general has never been a team that had a ton of talent and or utilized the tight end position all that well and all that frequently. There are exceptions. I know I can hear people now listening to the show yelling the names of those that were the exceptions. I even have a friend who played tight end here. But I would say that other offenses around the country, much to my chagrin, utilize the tight end more effectively. Unfortunately, one in particular down south that, churned them out year in and year out to the NFL, and they were elite, and they murdered us. Every time we played them, it was something to behold.
It could have been me out there playing tight end once a game, though, because the throwback pass was going to be wide open no matter if it was Jeremy Shockey or a walk-on.
It was crazy, but they remember that? I mean, just one guy after the next. I'm like, good God, can you swing and miss for once at the position? Does every one of your tight ends have to be not just like utilized and effective, but elite?
A surefire all-pro?
Right.
Like all-pro.
Yeah.
Not all Big East or whatever the hell conference they were in. All-pro.
Yeah. I mean, I would be like, there's another one. You got to be kidding me.
Also, a reminder that they weren't in the ACC in the 90s or the early 2000s as much as the conference network would want you to believe that.
Well, and if I were the conference, I'd say, are you guys ever going to do anything at all, ever? You've never achieved anything in this conference. I mean, at some point.
This is their time to shine. They need to go back in the vault. The ACC does. This is Miami's time to shine. Because in the vault, they are relevant. In the world,
in the real world, this century, they're not. In any way.
And we're in the 20s now.
I played that game again thinking about sports dates because they're all on the mind these days. Certainly, they're playing plenty of throwback games and seasons and documenting eras. And, yes, we've talked about that a lot, too, and I'm kind of tired of it. But I have to admit, whenever I'm sitting around over the weekend and, you want to kind of tune out for a little while, relax, kind of sit back on the recliner there and take in a game, which there are none, you have to watch the older replays. And I'm frequently reminded that it's a miracle we watch sports at all prior to HD. I don't know what we were doing. When you see these games that are not in HD, you're like, I can't see anything. Who's doing what? But we never, because we didn't know any better, but we watched those games. We were locked in. We thought we had a pretty good handle on everything that was going on.
I got to tell you, I'm pretty close to a hockey purist for my age, but watching the old Fox games with the Fox tracks, it's not that bad of an idea. You can clean it up a little bit.
I never thought it was a bad idea. People complained about it, but I never thought it was a bad idea. I didn't need the puck to talk to me, but yeah.
Right.
I mean,
the two best things about it were if it's on the wall, which is blind to your vision,
nice, yeah.
You got to see where it was. It's a graphic. It's not the real puck, but you get an idea of where it is. And then I don't need the red streak for the shot.
No, I never needed that.
If you just need one color to show me where it's going, that would help a lot.
Remember they had that dark purple blue color they would show, like where the puck was up on the boards, like you're talking about. You could just see that little
there'd
dot.
Be a white circle around it, too.
Yeah.
So you'd think it was actually the puck. It was like, how are they doing that?
Yeah.
But there are no sticks there, so clearly it's just a graphic.
It wasn't a terrible idea.
It wasn't a bad idea, and it helped with standard definition.
Oh, standard def, buddy. That's the thing that stood out. That and the fact that a lot of the athletes that were professionals at the time, not all, but a lot, depending on the sport especially, look like guys that you and I could just walk up to and beat the hell out of. And they were in professional leagues. I was like, look at that guy. That guy's never touched a weight in his life.
Maybe Marky Mark could have been on the 1975 Eagles.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. But, you can clearly see that in the 70s, if you just weren't naturally big, if you just weren't a big son of a bitch, like Dave Kingman was a big dude.
Matt Millen in football.
Big guy. Real big guy. Some of these giants are just that. Just giant men born that way. Not developed in a weight room at all. Just big dudes. But some of the other guys you look at and you're kind of like, that guy, he wouldn't play D2. Look at this guy. He's a $165 out there running around with string beans for arms. He's got nothing. Baseball especially, the 70s, when you look at guys in the baseball, I crack up. I'm like, look at Joe Morgan. Look at some of just in their uniform. You're like, good God, do you guys do anything? Ever?
Have you ever heard of a barbell, sir?
No, it's interesting to watch. I mean, when I see those old Pirates games and I see Omar Marino out in center field, I'm like, look at that guy. String bean. $150, like 6'6", $150. He's got nothing.
I think Barry Bonds is the perfect person who ushered in the new era.
Yeah, the before and after pictures of Barry with the Pirates and then the Giants are
There's Kenny
legendary.
Lofton. There's Kenny Lofton Barry Bonds, and then there's cartoon Mark McGwire Barry Bonds.
Baseball allows you to kind of have guys like that, of course, because if you can really run, it doesn't matter whether you have any muscle mass or not. I mean, I think about Juan Pierre's entire career. Good Lord. Juan sorry-ass Pierre out there playing baseball for 20 years.
But he worked his ass off.
Well,
you know the stories.
I know the stories, and I don't have anything personally against Juan Pierre. I just think that in the day of modern analytics, they would have said, really? We're going to have an outfielder hitting 250 with 3 home runs on the season, are we?
But he hit 22 triples.
Scored a lot of runs. Yeah, he did. Kind of the byproduct of the people behind him, but
maybe in the American League when he could spare a spot.
I guess it was just funny. I remember going back and looking at his year-to-year production, going, I don't think that would have. He was able to play out his career at just the right time.
But he, followed by Luis Castillo, was a freaking nightmare.
Speed for days,
man.
man.
Oh, my God.
Well, that is something that if they play baseball this year, and I've been wondering about this, the ebbs and flows of baseball and baseball strategy over the years, obviously, as we glean more information, we're able to keep more stats and gain some insight as to how runs are scored more effectively and what the percentages are and all that stuff. I get all of that. But you do see that even some of the things they thought were moving the game forward 6-7 years ago, that were part of those new era of statistics being used by almost every ball club, are now being looked at again, and some of which have been almost eliminated from mattering to baseball teams. So even the newer era stats, the ones that almost every team at some point universally agreed upon to pay attention to and deemed important, have seen teams chip away at and realize, well, we were giving too much value to this number, too much value to this statistic. It actually isn't as important as we think. I'm not saying, these are all just tools for information to have a better understanding of what your team does well, doesn't do well, and how you should play the game and set your lineup. I get all that, and information's a good thing, but we tend to rush in with the newest thing, right, and get excited about it, only to look back years later and go, that one really didn't matter as much. Or these two things, I don't know why we were so excited about that.
Well, yeah, and I think obviously a lot of sports, especially in college, because you're transitioning from, being in like a cocoon almost in your hometown to the world, and you got psychology that's at play. Sports psychologists are very, very important in college. But I think that's a huge part in pro sports too. Sure. Especially in the era of social media, you got to know if guys can handle it. It doesn't matter if his numbers at AA look fine. When he turns into your number 2 hitter in your lineup in 2 years, is he going to be able to handle it? Like, you got to do psych profiles on these guys before you even say that we like these numbers, we like the measurables.
We've seen a ton of guys who simply played exceptional baseball for the bulk of their career in nondescript places, Kansas City, for example, and then got shipped off to New York or Los Angeles, where the burden weighs heavy, and they couldn't handle it. They imploded, and maybe you think, well, their game has fallen off. They got a big number from that team at just the right time. But in truth, when you look at them, they were going into their 30s. Maybe they're waning a little bit. And then they get shipped off somewhere else where the pressure is lessened, and they go back to being that same player, where you can clearly see New York spotlight was too much for them.
You know who you're thinking of, right?
Yeah.
Jason Bay.
Yeah. Well,
there he was. He played well in Boston.
He did. That's a tough place to play well in, too. I'm surprised he played
because of the monster. He didn't have the power to hit it out of city.
Well, not many people did.
Right, in the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, it ruined David Wright's career. Sure. Wonderful. Way to ruin anyway.
Yeah.
It's like lefty hitters, right? They benefit with the green monster.
Being in left, because you can go oppo.
You can go the oppo, it's a double, or a long single.
How about that? Well, there's a case where, obviously, modern analytics helped the Boston Red Sox because they had it backwards all those years. They thought it favored right-handed hitters. And then, he had people come in and say, no, it's the opposite.
Yeah, it's Ryan Howard at Citizens Bank. That left center power alley is nothing. Mm-hmm. So he did little line drives out there, almost like it was Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, Bill James goes to the Red Sox and says, my man, got this all wrong. You don't want to stockpile a bunch of righties. You need 3 or 4 lefties in this lineup minimum. Just let them go the other way, which is a pop-up in every other stadium, but it's off the wall here.
Yeah, well, it's like Big Papi in Fenway, Curtis Granderson, who's a pull hitter in Yankee Stadium. I mean, these players are made for those ballparks.
Think about Derek Jeter going oppo and that joke of a ballpark that is Yankee Stadium right into the wind tunnel.
All the time.
It was ridiculous.
342 into the power alley.
Rated-ass numbers.
3-run home run.
For look at it, it's gone. It's gone. That wouldn't even been halfway out to the outfield in most of the grown-up parks.
Right fielder's been waiting on it for 10 seconds.
It's
he just can't do anything about it.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Just to see what I might find. Barry knows cool, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool, you can put him to the test.
Your home has been a place of great comfort. We can help you keep it that way. Barno Heating and Air is helping you get ready for summer with $1,500 off select new units, 0% financing for qualified buyers, plus worry-free maintenance plans. Learn more or schedule online at BarnoAC.com. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barno Heating and Air today. Florida license CAC 1816186.
Attention Tallahassee, Phase 1 is Phase Patio at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill will be serving up the coldest, crispest refreshments and their signature delicious jumbo wings, all while adhering to responsible social distancing. You know this is the best time of the year to sit on the outdoor patio or deck, so make the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway your first and most frequent stop for Phase Patio. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Order takeout today at cptallybar.com. That's cptallybar.com. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
This is the sound of @KoalaMama85 asking DQ to bring back the Snickers Blizzard. And this is the sound of us making the Snickers Blizzard and the all-new peanut butter pie Blizzard made with Snickers. And this is the sound of 5,157 happy Snickers Blizzard lovers saying OMG, smile emoji, praise hands, thank you, exclamation point, praise hands, praise hands. That's what a Snickers Blizzard sounds like. And it's back with the all-new peanut butter pie Blizzard made with Snickers.
DQ, happy tastes good.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with their Memorial Day sale happening May 22nd through the 25th. All Nike golf shoes are 25% off. Score an epic deal on Callaway's Epic Flash Driver, now only $349. Save big with the G400 driver, now only $249. Remember, the more you buy, the more you save, and receive up to 25% off all apparel. Edwin Watts Golf Shops Memorial Day sale happening May 22nd to May 25th. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee, serving golfers since 1968.
Not all law firms are equal, so here's why Fonville Lewis Mesher McConaughey was recently voted Tallahassee's best law firm. First, we only take real cases. If your car was barely bumped and you think you're going to get rich, we're not the firm for you. We limit our practice to serious cases with legitimate claims. Second, we only take cases involving real injuries. If you know you aren't hurt but think you can fool your way into a quick settlement, we're not the firm for you. We encourage our clients to heal up and get better, not sit on the couch and expect a windfall. Third, we don't want clients who are just in it for the money. If the very first thing you think of after getting hurt is calling pound something or other on your cell phone instead of calling 911, we're not the firm for you. Your health should always come first. And finally, we won't blow smoke about a big money outcome just to get your case. Other firms overpromise and underdeliver. Our only promise is that we'll work harder than anyone to get you the best result. Remember, the law firm you have representing you makes all the difference, so don't settle for less. Call Fonville Lewis Mesher McConaughey and let us put our reputation to work for you.
And now, the worst commercial ever.
Say, Jan, as a fellow respected small business professional, I wonder, who do you use for commercial auto and business insurance?
Progressive, of course. They helped with a customized insurance solution for my busy florist company.
I'm so glad we had this chance encounter in this busy restaurant.
Yes, that fake conversation was brutal. Whereas commercial auto and business insurance through Progressive is anything but. Visit progressivecommercial.com to quote today. Insurance provided and serviced by Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. It's affiliated and third-party insurers.
Seminole headlines.
Brian writes, is there a better song we can play going into fourth quarter than Eastbound and Down? I love Burt and all, but don't think this song is catching on. I hate to say it, but the Gators got this right with Tom Petty's I Won't Back Down. It's fun and the whole crowd gets into it. Any suggestions?
That's a tough situation. It's a tough situation.
It's a tough situation. You're not going to outdo Tom Petty. That's going to be a tough sell, and there is nobody that, musician-wise, graduated from Florida State, that wrote an anthemic song that the country loves.
Isn't Creed a Tallahassee band?
No, dare even mention it. That one of the worst bands ever assembled. That this should never happen.
Just imagine, though. Try to imagine this, Jeff. You're in a 21-20 game with Miami.
Yeah.
You've got Miami's driving.
Yeah. And
at the 32-yard line. You go to the fourth quarter with arms wide open. Good mood ahead. I mean, the whole crowd would be singing that song, Jeff. Miami would just melt. They would melt into a puddle if they heard 80,000 people singing, or 20,000 singing Arms Wide Open.
If you want to have fun, go look up that ridiculous Marlins anthem that the lead singer from Creed wrote. It's unbelievable. And the Marlins actually played it. It's one of the worst songs you have ever heard in your life.
Was there a theme song to The Longest Yard? Because that was a classic Burt Reynolds football movie.
It was, yeah. I don't think there was a theme song that I recall. No.
I think it was With Arms Wide Open.
Tuesday night on 97.9 ESPN Radio. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
holds my suitcase. It looks like home to me.
Joe Flacco's still out here getting paid. That strikes me as amazing. He's now a New York Jet. 35 years old, hasn't been good in a long time. And, think about it. The Super Bowl MVP victory was in 2012. That's 8 years ago. And really, after that amazing run in which he bet on himself and got paid accordingly, partly because of a terribly misguided jump and misjudged jump from a defensive back in Denver, did that contract happen?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
But not just that. Obviously, he did play well that year, and in particular that run. It's one of the great runs. But he hasn't been any good since, and he's still getting paid. And meanwhile, Cam Newton can't find a job.
Two things can be true at the same time. That was a poorly timed jump. That was in the Terrence Parks USF Hall of Fame.
It was ridiculous.
But it was also a missile. It was also a
well,
missile.
Well, he threw it a mile into the air as well as at a great distance, so it was an impressive throw. Just a terrible jump. I don't know what the hell was going on there. That was up there. It wasn't as bad as Saints-Vikings, but it's...
Oh, my. I still can't believe
Take yourself an angle, sir.
How was there not a safety there behind him? That's the worst part of it. It's like you're like, get out of bounds, Stephon, kick the field goal. And no, he doesn't need to. There's nobody there. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I've watched that play several times, and when I watch it, I am left thinking, man, if you were going to argue for things being fixed, you'd point to that man's angle and effort. What are you doing? It doesn't even look like a football play that is made in the course of a game.
No.
That's you were just talking about it, sports psychology and how important it is, man. That has to be somebody getting completely domed up, recognizing the importance of getting this man to the ground, and then just your body freezes up. You're unable to move it in the way you're accustomed. You can't utilize the fluidity and athleticism you're accustomed to because your brain has locked you up. I mean, that had to have been something like that. I've never seen that.
Yeah, Ricky Fowler on 18 this past weekend. I mean, he's the best player all day.
I don't think he was nervous, though.
What is that shot?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But, he has won 5 times on tour. It is bizarre. And that he was the first to tee off. He was excited. He was like, let's play, let's go. And he played well all day.
And they got the 18,
but I don't
it's unbelievable.
I don't think he's a choker, man. That run he had at TPC Sawgrass was incredible. He had to hit big shot after big shot after big shot to put that together and do it and win that tournament. It's weird with him, though. I mean, I think most recently there was a really good performance where he finished second or third at the Masters a few years ago.
Yeah, he made a run. When a lot of guys, I think Cantlay was making a run,
yeah,
too.
He made a run as well, and he played some of his best golf. And I remember thinking, he's going to get one of these. He's a guy, by the way, he's one of those guys that if he just wins one, you feel like he'll win a couple more, and the way we view him will completely shift.
I feel like unless he goes crazy on Thursday, Friday, and he can just coast home, he probably needs to be somebody who wins from the 3rd or 5th to final group.
Right, where nobody expects him.
Correct. Tommy Fleetwood would be the same guy in that regard.
Well, that has been made abundantly clear.
He cannot win from the final even 2 or 3 groups.
So isn't it funny as we put things into perspective and talk about people's careers that one of the things people criticized Tiger Woods for was that he always was in the lead going in on a Sunday and then was able to close it out, right? That he was a quote-unquote front runner. And then say nothing of the fact that he forged his way to the top of the leaderboard going into a Sunday on a difficult course and then managed to sustain that lead while the entire field is chasing him and time and again just simply couldn't catch him. That's an art. That's difficult. That takes an intelligent approach and steely mind to be able to do that, to execute that. But meanwhile, with other players, we say, oh, well, he couldn't handle the lead. It's different when you have the lead and you got to hold on to it. Like, we discredit those players for the very thing that they criticize Tiger Woods for doing all the time.
Well, that's right, and that's a big criticism of Tiger.
But it's completely unfair criticism.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it's bizarre.
I think part of that stems from the argument of Tiger versus Jack and all of Jack's runner-up finishes on top of the majors, which is a truly impressive stat.
Well, it's in addition to having more of them, it's what makes him the best player of all time. The Tiger Jack thing is simple. Nobody's ever played as good a golf as Tiger Woods did in about a 3-year window. Not Jack, not anybody. But in the entirety of a career, you're going to side with Jack, and I understand why, and that's fine. And part of that argument is not only the majors, but all of the runner-ups. Yes, I got you. I'm fair. It's just simple.
Be interesting to see. So there are competing documentaries on Sunday night now that the Last Dance is over.
I'm not watching the Tom Brady thing.
Oh, me either.
No, it's just a big commercial.
No, but they have a Lance Armstrong one on ESPN.
How many are we going to do?
And then they have the Tiger Slam on Golf Channel.
Which I'll watch.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, because they're playing, 90s hip-hop for Tiger, and I'm like, man, I don't know that was his image. I don't know that Nike ever pushed, hip-hop at Tiger's arrival to the PGA Tour. He was very much more ceremonious than, the anti-hero character.
No, that's true. Of all the use of 80, by the way, I'm really enjoying the fact that 80s and early 90s hip-hop is kind of making a comeback, partly because of its use in certain movies. I also just liked that style. I also liked kind of the makeup of the way those songs were produced and what was being sung about. But anyhow, that said, because you had a slew of conscientious rappers and interesting topics and reveals. But back to the use of music in these documentaries and its importance. Boy, they did a lot of things right in The Last Dance, but using freaking LL Cool J's I'm Bad for that introduction to Hello World in the League, here comes the rookie, here comes the guy that changes the face of basketball, was perfect. Just everything about it was perfect. And I was thinking, you could do this with a lot of great players over the years, but if that song had been 10 minutes long, they could have filled all 10 minutes with extraordinary Jordan moments from just a singular season. That's how freaking good that guy was. That you could have a 10-minute montage, play that song on a loop, and watch him do breathtaking things 10 straight minutes with just utilizing one season.
I'd love to see, and we won't know for a year or two, but just take a look at the numbers of the Jordan brand and Nike. Disposable income adjust for all that, because right now we don't have much of it as a country. But how much did that do for his brand? And to push, already it's synonymous with, shoes. But, if you're talking about overall sales and interest in the Jordan part of the Jordan brand, I'll bet you that thing is worth millions and millions of dollars to Michael Jordan, because it rekindles his legacy and it makes it real to a younger generation.
I don't think there's any doubt. And he's at a place where money is never going to be an object. He doesn't, I don't know. I can't say he doesn't think about money, but honestly, when you're as rich as he is, when you're a billionaire, another couple million isn't going to change anything. So I do wonder how much he cares about that. But I also wonder how cool,
I think greatly. This doesn't happen without him caring greatly about how he is perceived. Because he has to green light it.
But yes, and I also think the entire, listen, you enter the zeitgeist. He comes at just the right time. Like, everything had to happen. Usually these iconic brands and stuff like that. You like that? Iconic brand? There you go, Coach.
We've got one in our backyard. Yeah. That's right.
These things that take off and become transcendent, some of it's an awful lot of luck. It's not just that you have to be preternaturally great. It's also that there is a shift in the marketplace, and there is the right guy at the right company who comes up with the right design and markets it just the right way. A lot of things have to go right. A series of things have to go right. And usually it's like 7 or 8. You got the right agent, the right company approached you and understood your value at just the right time. The right marketer understood the angle to take.
But then you actually have to perform in what you do.
Oh, you have to go.
You're not
be
a
great.
bust.
Yeah, you've got to go out and be great. Sure, yeah. But yeah, there's countless players who had shoes that you're like, well, I'm not buying those. No thanks. LaMelo Ball ain't selling shoes.
Right, so the John Starks edition.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So all that has to happen, and I'm reminded of that. But yes, you've got to go out and be great. Nike got it right twice, big time, and it's obviously two iconic, transcendent athletes for the ages. It's Tiger Woods and it's obviously Michael Jordan. That's smart. It's good. It's obviously they were the brand leaders at that point by the time Tiger came around, but man.
Well, I mean, LeBron Kobe, that's nothing to sneeze at either. Remember the puppets? You know, they did the puppets thing, and then the old LeBron's commercial is like he had all the 5-6 different characters.
But Mike leads the way. Mike, you know, obviously at that point they wrestle it away from Converse and they take over, and it's just having the faith that you got a guy who's going to design a shoe that looks great. You're going to have to go out and be great, and then they got to market it at just the right way at just the right time. And when you watch that documentary, you realize, man, he's got to feel, if he takes time to take inventory, he's got to feel very, very fortunate. That there have been a lot of great players that didn't make an extra $700 million worth of fortune because of the T-shirt that sells along with the shoes and the shorts and the socks and everything else to go along with that great career.
Yeah, I just think back to that era, like the Tiger part of it, where obviously Jordan has paved the way. Like even for Tiger, Jordan has paved the way from a marketing standpoint because Nike now has the money to go after a Tiger. But you remember like late 90s, early 2000s, how simple all of the designs were? Mm-hmm. Like now, like it's much more colorful this time. If you look at golf shirts and tennis shirts at a non-Wimbledon event, right? Like they're very colorful, highlighter pink and yellow, things like that. But in that time, it was like navy blue, black, really tiny check. And then for a tennis player, you got the floppy hat with a tiny check. Yeah. Everything was like as minimalist as it gets. It's just interesting at that time.
The ebbs and flows of that. I mean, Agassi introduced a flamboyant style with not only he wore jean shorts on the court with pink stretch pants underneath them. And it was thought to be cool. And when I was a kid, I bought a pair. I can't believe I had those. It's the pink workout shorts underneath the jean shorts.
You wore jean shorts to play tennis?
But no, it was Nike's tennis brand. That's what they were. You wore Agassi's jean short with the stretch pinky thing underneath. Nobody said anything. They're like, this is great. That's a good look.
Did you have the sweatband to go with it?
No, I didn't. It turns out he was hiding hair loss. But I can't play with hats on. I never could. I can't.
Not a hat, not a sweatband, nothing.
No, couldn't do it. I wanted to play with a sweatband because my man McEnroe did. When he had the fro, he had the headband, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I wanted to do everything McEnroe did. I mean, everything he did, I ended up doing. I would buy the same Fila, Diodora, all the stuff that he had. When he switched rackets, I switched rackets. I mean, whatever he did, I did. But I couldn't wear the headband.
Yeah, in hockey, the helmet was the big thing. And you could have a helmet that looks like a loser's helmet. I mean, like Gretzky is an all-time player, but that helmet is ridiculous that he's wearing. Same thing with Messier. Like, what is that thing? Looks like almost like a crown. But then if you had like Mario Lemieux or Jaromir Jagr's helmet or Peter Forsberg's, and you had the dash, like you had the visor, and it had that smoke tint to it. Oh man, you're just a badass. But then if you had the other kind, it almost looked like a goalie helmet with the cage that dropped down, like the actual cage. My parents wanted me to use the cage because they want me to cut my mouth or anything like that, which is the reasonable thing to ask for.
Sure.
But it wasn't cool,
No,
man.
it's not cool at all.
It wasn't cool at all.
Not cool in the slightest. You look like a dork in that thing.
I look like a dork in that thing.
Well, it's not your fault.
Most kids have that, but the ones, I was so jealous of their parents. I'm like, look at that smoked visor on that CCM helmet. You, sir. I hate you.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show. AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping remind you to prepare your property for hurricane season. If you have trees on your property, it is crucial to have them inspected before a major hurricane. Contact AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping today, 385-3319, that's 385-3319, or online at AAATreeExperts.net, AAATreeExperts.net.
This spring, I'm making everyday Earth Day by incorporating small actions that can create big results.
Like what?
Well, I'm starting with daily habits. Turning off the lights every time I leave a room, shutting off the tap when I brush my teeth, and unplugging electronics when I'm not using them.
Those are great ideas our whole family can do.
And since we're home more, I could also use your help with a few one-time projects that could benefit us long-term, like fixing water leaks and installing our rain barrel.
I'd love to help. Right after I call the City of Tallahassee Utilities at 891-4968 to sign up for paperless billing.
Excellent! Tonight, let's ask the kids if they have any ideas about what we can do to save energy, water, and money as we celebrate Earth Day at home.
2020 marks the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and there are many things TLH can do to celebrate at home. Get inspiration at TLHCanDo.com. Small actions create big results. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities.
At Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we are open and ready for business. It's our huge Memorial Day weekend sale. We can't be stopped celebrating these deals. New cars with a baffling 0.9% APR for 84 months. May is also Ram Truck Month with outrageous discounts, up to $11,000 off MSRP on some remaining 2019 Rams. Cash in on our Detroit Special. Employee pricing on 2020 Wranglers and Gladiators. And pocket these never-before-offered mind-blowing savings. Receive 0% for 72 months on almost a dozen models and save thousands. These savings are shocking. Our First Responders program will get you an extra $500 this weekend only. We are so proud of our healthcare professionals. We are offering the same $500 to all of you as well. Only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the corner of Capitol Circle and West Tennessee. We're right on the corner and always right on the price. Must qualify through Chrysler Credit for special financing. All rebates and incentives apply, plus tax tag and dealer fee.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
Planning on expanding or renovating your home or business? Did you know that these construction projects start with preliminary work such as professional sets of drawings and proper engineering? Before you apply for financing or sign a lease agreement, allow our team of contractors, architects, and engineers to assist you with planning and budgeting. Hello, I'm Travis, owner of T-Spark Enterprises, and I am here because we want your project to launch on the right foot. Call us today and we will take care of your construction needs. We aim to provide work that will exceed your expectations, guaranteeing picture-perfect results.
Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
License number CGC 1525336.
AAA Tree Experts has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer landscaping? AAA landscaping services include custom outdoor landscape, creative landscape design and architecture, hardscapes, waterscapes, retention walls, and French drains, irrigation and sodding, landscape and holiday lighting. Call them today for all your outdoor landscaping needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping.
Barry knows cool, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool, you can put him to the test.
Your home has been a place of great comfort. We can help you keep it that way. Barno Heating and Air is helping you get ready for summer with $1,500 off select new units, 0% financing for qualified buyers, plus worry-free maintenance plans. Learn more or schedule online at BarnoAC.com. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barno Heating and Air today. Florida license CAC 1816186.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
So this is how it happens, all right? It's a celebrity poker tournament, and if you thought to yourself that John Hamm enters a chat room with ham bone in the house, you'd be correct. I show up at the table. Cards are being dealt, but there's only one person betting. So what's happening is, as this moves around the table and everyone's time runs out, Stugotz just keeps getting the money. Every time he bets, the money comes from Stugotz. So he's slowly bleeding people who are having trouble getting in the room. And I'm on the Skype, and I'm watching these people, and they're saying, I'm trying to get in, I can't get in. And I'm yelling at Stugotz in the chat room, Stugotz, stop taking everybody's money. We don't know these people. And Stugotz's chip total ended up at 12,000 before the thing even got started, while everyone else was starting at 8,000 because he'd stolen so much of their money. And he still finished last.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios in Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Major League Baseball's Labor Committee will review an economic proposal today before it's formally submitted to the Players Union, the first major step to settle these financial differences going on with the owners and the players, the officials who spoke on condition of anonymity. I want, by the way, for officials who speak on condition of anonymity to one day say, hey, you can quote me, but only in the condition of celebration. Praise on the condition of gushing about my better qualities. Just not anonymity, but, we spoke with one baseball official who is really fit for his age.
On the condition of personal dignity, honesty, and integrity.
So there you go. Speaking on the condition of anonymity because of the ongoing negotiations. But see, you could do that. You could say, I'm speaking on condition of your acknowledgement of my intellect.
I'd speak on the condition of bucknuts.com.
Oh, my goodness. Ever since we saw that was the name for their team website, we thought, we have to work this in. This should be a thing. I wish there was a shop around town that sold nuts, peanuts, cashews, you name it, just nuts. And they would be called Buck Nuts, and they'd sponsor the show. Thanks, Buck Nuts!
If you sold nuts, there's so many great names.
Oh, sure. I took a picture when I was in Chicago the last time I was there. I was on Clark Street. My son's name is Clark. And one of my son's names is Clark. And as I was walking, it was late in the evening, and I saw it. The name of the shop was Nuts on Clark.
Oh, no way.
That's the name of it, yeah. And
That's a good owner.
That's the name of it's on Clark Street. It's called Nuts on Clark. And when I got home, I was like, hey, here you go, buddy. He's like, Dad. I was like, I couldn't help it. I'm snickering like a 12-year-old.
Do you see that video of the official talking about tennis camps and like using it as an example for like integrating kids and being able to play in camps? And she talks about tennis balls, but then she mistakenly forgets the tennis part, and she talks about kicking them and stuff, and she just starts cracking up at the press.
So she starts laughing.
She started laughing. She couldn't contain herself.
Back to these officials who did speak on condition of anonymity and not effusive praise. Because of the ongoing negotiations, said the proposal likely will be presented to the union this upcoming Tuesday after Commissioner Rob Manfred, who I have grown from thinking was a good commissioner to, I wonder what he's doing on a given day. I think he's like staring at the ceiling. I don't know that he has what's necessary to man the ship here.
Probably wasn't the guy to hand the torch to.
No. But he will then privately share that proposal with the 30 ownership groups in a conference call earlier that day. The proposal is expected to include revenue sharing, which, if adopted, would be a first for Major League Baseball and will at least open dialogue determining how much players should be paid in a truncated 82-game season. The players have already agreed to prorate those salaries, costing them about half of their annual salary, and that's only right, by the way. That's not some great concession. You're only playing half the games. You should only get half your money. That's just common sense.
That would be like MLB getting mad at the TV networks and the RSNs for not paying them the full price.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyhow, there you are. That's the deal. They're going to get half their money, their annual salary, because they're playing half the games they ordinarily would. This pisses them off, as they've made it very well known. The owners insist without additional concessions, though, they will lose money playing games because the fans can't go to said games, and they make upwards of 30 to 40% of their revenue at the gate. Now, if they can open the books and show the players that, this should be open and shut.
That's why they don't, and that's why it isn't. There's no way that they make 38 to 40% of their revenue off the gate and related purchases.
But, hold on. I mean, it's 162 games. If you play 81 home games, you might with 81 home games.
You would need like we were talking about before, New York, St. Louis, Los Angeles. You need your power markets to carry you to that. Chicago to carry you to that number. 40% for the entire league's revenue? No way. No way. Especially with the astronomical value of those TV contracts.
TV deals, yeah.
There's
but
no
not
way.
all those TV deals are the same. There is an astronomical value of the Dodgers deal or of NESN or of Yes, but not for everybody else.
But the exponential nature of those deals, would put you in a position. And that's where, I forget the author's name, second time I'm referencing it. Fangraphs put an article checking those numbers and saying, this ain't all it's cracked up to be from the owners, and the players have the right.
I'm sure they're being deceitful, and the players can be angry, and that's why behind closed doors they should have that conversation. Right. You do not need to do what Blake Snell did, which is put yourself in a bad light. There's no way to win.
Even if you're right, you can't win.
Even if you're right, you can't win.
He wasn't, but yeah.
He was somewhat right, but not completely.
But that's where, in the article, where it's an open negotiation. They're negotiating through the press. And when that article, I forget if it was Rosenthal or Passan, when we were looking at the numbers, and it said it would be more like a 90-10 split for the players to the owners in terms of revenue. That is a sentence. That is a negotiation right then and there.
Yeah.
If you're talking about a 50-50 and a 90-10, let's meet in the middle. That's what the signal is.
Well, time is of the essence now because even though they don't have a deadline negotiation, they are saying that, both sides have said at various points, we've got to get something in place by, June 5th, somewhere in that neighborhood, providing enough time because they're going to have 3 weeks of a spring training again in order for them to start when they want to start, which is July 4th weekend, which is an ideal time to start.
That's what you do.
Oh,
America and baseball once again.
I would celebrate the hell out of that.
Like a blackboard erased.
Well, you could play it over a montage. You could have a good time with it. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be elated. By the way, that never gets old. The man never gets old. James Earl Jones never gets old. When we watched Field of Dreams the other night, even Bryce and Clark were like, wow, who is that?
The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. But baseball has marked the time.
Never gets old. And that voice, booming as it is, struck a chord with both my boys.
Two interesting facts about about James Earl Jones.
Terrence
excuse
Mann.
me. Yeah, but it was very believable.
Yeah.
Number one, he hates his voice, like most people do, but he hates it, and that's crazy just because it's amazing. And number two, he doesn't MC or do a lot of prim and proper productions like you think he might because the presence of the voice, because he battles a stutter. He's had a stutter his whole life, and he keeps fighting it.
He was a great stage actor, and one of the ways that he got through that fear of stuttering was by performing on the stage, not unlike a lot of musicians who stutter, but when they sing, don't, for whatever reason. Yeah, man, he's awesome. He's also 89 years old, and I fear we will be losing him soon.
I just hope, and his voice is starting to fade, even if you listen to some of the latest work he's done voice acting, you're like, age. But he made it 80-some years where you didn't even notice. I hope every word in the dictionary was spoken by James Earl Jones into a computer system.
So for Darth Vader can
anything. Like, you just need to have his voice, and you need all the tones. I mean, can we do that?
Yeah.
Is there enough vocal information you could put into a computer that they could simulate the voice perfectly? Probably.
You noticed he's not that much of a public figure anymore. Like, you never see James Earl Jones
Want to be left alone.
Well, he does, and you never see him anymore, ever. I mean, I don't remember the last time. Now, he is in the upcoming Coming to America 2.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah. Yeah, so there is a reprisal of that role.
Tricky Dick twice.
But that's him, and but that's it. I bet that's the last we're going to see of James.
Yeah, I mean,
can't have him getting COVID.
You might have like a Vader, project, because that's easy. You're not actually physically on the set. You're just reading some lines. No more Mufasa, right? Because they did the remake of that.
I didn't see the remake.
It didn't look good because it was a perfect movie beforehand, and I heard it was disappointing. Shocker alert.
They remake everything 16 different times anymore. Have they remade Conan the Barbarian?
I don't think so.
I would have thought they would have. They're seemingly
with like The Rock.
Yeah, I would have. But that's who they use for any role that it requires somebody to be athletic and muscular. Anything where they're like, we need a dude who's impressive with his shirt off. Get The Rock.
Still, though, I mean, he's going on a
he hit
this
the
is his fourth
juice hard.
decade.
Well, he hit the juice hard about 10 years ago when he came back for wrestling. And all of a sudden, you were like, what happened to Dwayne Johnson's 285 pounds of muscle again? What the hell's going on over here?
Surely it must be his diet that's been published in Men's Health and nothing else.
Ratcheting it up lately, I see, Dwayne. That's impressive. That's what you get. Final hour forthcoming. In that final hour, we'll replay my interview with Mike Norvell that started the show.
It was a good one. He gave some nuggets, man.
He did. It was good. And we appreciate him coming on. Absolutely, we do. And we also appreciate our friends at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning for sponsoring that interview. Final hour forthcoming. Stay with.
Clouds of mist drift over, confusion on the ground. Good men through the ages, trying to find the sun. And I wonder, still I wonder, who'll stop the rain?
Front Row Knowles, featuring Tom Block and Keith Jones, is brought to you by Hobson Chevrolet in Cairo, Georgia. Get your best deal the Hobson way. Catch Front Row Knowles every Wednesday night at 6, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Barry knows school, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows school, you can put him to the test.
Your home has been a place of great comfort. We can help you keep it that way. Barano Heating and Air is helping you get ready for summer with $1,500 off select new units, 0% financing for qualified buyers, plus worry-free maintenance plans. Learn more or schedule online at baranoac.com. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air today. Florida license CAC 1816186.
Attention Tallahassee, Phase 1 is Phase Patio at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill will be serving up the coldest, crispest refreshments and their signature delicious jumbo wings, all while adhering to responsible social distancing. You know this is the best time of the year to sit on the outdoor patio or deck, so make the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway your first and most frequent stop for Phase Patio. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Order takeout today at cptallybar.com. That's cptallybar.com. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket. You've known for a while now that the best place to grab lunch in downtown Tallahassee is Metro Deli. But did you know that Metro Deli is now offering its own online grocery list? That's right. Head to MetroDeliTally.com today to check out all of the best offerings of meats, cheeses, breads, egg salad, tuna salad, signature dishes, and more from your friends at Metro Deli. Metro Deli, more than just a lunch shop, now your corner deli market. Head to MetroDeliTally.com today to support those who support local hospitality workers during the COVID-19 crisis.
This is the sound of at Koala Mama 85 asking DQ to bring back the Snickers Blizzard. And this is the sound of us making the Snickers Blizzard and the all-new peanut butter pie Blizzard made with Snickers. And this is the sound of 5,157 happy Snickers Blizzard lovers saying OMG, smile emoji, praise hands, thank you, exclamation point, praise hands, praise hands. That's what a Snickers Blizzard sounds like. And it's back with the all-new peanut butter
dare even mention it, that one of the worst bands ever assembled, that this should never happen.
Just imagine, though, try to imagine this, Jeff. You're in a 21-20 game with Miami.
Yeah.
You've got Miami's driving.
Yeah. And
at
can
the
you
32-yard line. You go to the fourth quarter with arms wide open. Jumbo to hit. I mean, the whole crowd would be singing that song, Jeff. Miami would just melt. They would melt into a puddle if they heard 80,000 people singing, or 20,000 singing Arms Wide Open.
If you want to have fun, go look up that ridiculous Marlins anthem that the lead singer from Creed wrote. It's unbelievable. And the Marlins actually played it. It's one of the worst songs you have ever heard in your life.
Was there a theme song to The Longest Yard? Because that was a classic Burt Reynolds football movie.
It was, yeah. I don't think there was a theme song that I recall. No.
I think it was with arms wide open.
Tuesday night on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio. WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios in Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Interrupting all programs. This is a radio crash on Pirate Satellite.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for this week, as we enter into the long holiday weekend. I think we could use it. Any kind of respite, any kind of exhale, any kind of extra time to kind of decompress right now is welcomed without having to worry about work. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. But if you do go back, get caught up at your leisure, as we'll post all 3 hours of the program on iTunes as well as in our own audio vault. Can email the show if you'd like. It's JCS at 979 ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at J Cameron Show. And the WTSM app is good for your mobile devices. So there you go. We got the YouTube feed up and rolling, but not the video still, just the audio content currently. So bear with us as we are a skeleton crew these days, just Tom and myself, and there's a lot going on when we do this show. So doing the video, not possible right now. It was good to have Coach Norvell on in the first hour. You'll hear that interview again here this hour. We'll play it for you in just a little bit. And then let's just talk a little bit about the latest, what we have here with Florida State now kind of ramping up with their plans. And so, you know, it's interesting. Everybody's cautiously optimistic. I know Dot wrote that. I don't want to give away his stuff that's on warchant.com. But we're hearing from the same sources. We're hearing from the same people, all that good stuff in terms of what's going on. And people are cautiously optimistic that the season's going to happen, but we have not. And I don't know if I gave the impression yesterday, and I didn't mean to, but I thought about it when I read the report, but also when I heard from one of my sources. Like, I didn't say yesterday, and I don't think anybody's accused me of it, but I did have somebody who listens to the show who also happens to be a friend say, sounded like you were all about telling people to get their tickets, you know, and I think we're moving in that direction, and that is what I was trying to imply yesterday. But, again, what it's going to look like is still up in the air. I know on Chuck Oliver today, for example, he was talking about if stadiums are 20%, 25%, well, that's just the rich get richer because they'll be the ones that have the access, the long-time boosters, the highest levels and all of that. And he was saying, hey, look, that's rich people have always had access to things that middle class and poor people don't have access to. But you know what, Tom? I don't view it that way. I don't view those that get to go to games this year as being privileged, as being luckier, or having access to something the rest of us want but can't get to because we're lacking, financial means to do so. I'm not racing over there to watch football games in the stands. Whether they say you can or not.
Because of COVID or quality of play or the weather?
All three.
All three?
No, not quality of play. I'm not worried about quality of play. I'm actually excited to see what this staff does with what we have. We're not good enough in some areas, but I'm not worried about quality of play. They'll be competent. I don't need to. I don't know. I want to see how it looks. I want to see how they operate. I want to know, how do we get into the stadium? How do we get out of the stadium? How close do I have to get to a bunch of strangers? I mean, all that stuff. And listen, early in the season, neither you nor I, unless it's a huge game, like one of these massive early season out-of-conference games against some cool one-off.
Yeah.
I don't really care about watching the, sad sap substandard teams that usually come in here in 98-degree heat. I don't need to be there to do that.
Yeah, I think what you probably want to do is call over to the Jacksonville Jaguars and ask who did the tarp on their upper deck. Because I think the play here, if you're going 25%, let's just say it's the 25% plan, you're going to put that 25% in the shade on the alumni side.
You are.
And you're going to space them out with the chair backs so you can clearly mark where the seats are that you have to abide by and sit in order to distance properly. And then on the other side, you have a massive advertisement for whatever corporation you can sell it to, because if you actually left the TV cameras where they are right now, it would be like tinfoil, like one big piece of tinfoil for a noon kick or a 3 o'clock kick into the lens of that camera. It would increase the temperature of the stadium exponentially. It would just be an eyesore in so many ways. And you don't want to sit over there if you're one of the lucky 25% to be in the stands for a good game between Florida State and opponent. So I think that's what it's going to look like, is you're going to have the chair backs mark the seats. I don't know this from their protocol. It makes too much damn sense.
Well, yeah, you don't want to stick people out there to fry like we did against Boise, by the way. That was crazy. But everybody flocked towards the shade, but it was...
So, I mean, and I know some of the times for kickoffs you can't prevent being in the sun, but we all know the better side to be on if you have a ticket or you're trying to get one on the secondary market. But then you just put a big, huge ad, and so the TV cameras capture that every time they pan out for a kickoff or whatever, and you roll on Big River.
Yeah, and I met with somebody this morning that is involved with the school system in Leon County school system. It's not for Florida State, but we were talking about what university is going to look like, what schools are going to look like, and if enrollment is 40,000 at Florida State, will 40,000 be on campus, or will it just be freshman and senior? I had this idea that what you should do if you're going to cut it in half is have freshmen, because they got to get acclimated and it's their first year away, and that's what you do. You enroll and you get to go off to college. And seniors who are exiting the campus. Sophomores and juniors, you can take your online courses and distance learn for another semester if that's what's necessary, if they're trying to have the amount of students. I think that's an idea. I mean, I floated that out there. And this guy was talking about, well, they're just not sure what they're going to do just yet because you got professors and they're uneasy. Right. And I said, well, listen, for the sense that, because I see a lot of this online and people email us and tweet at us, and you've got some guys in the SEC that have been very, very bold in their efforts to suggest that everybody will be back on campus. We're playing football, practice. I mean, hell, Arkansas was telling everybody they're starting to practice next week, whatever it was. And we all laughed at them because we said, look, man, I don't care if you're the president of said university. You're not making that decision. It's the governor of the state that is going to make that decision. Now, I think we know where our governor, Ron DeSantis, sits with this, but there's also the board of governors ahead of over the universities and all of that. So athletic directors and school presidents are not going to necessarily, it wouldn't behoove them to be gung-ho and tell everybody, yeah, we're playing, and by the way, everybody's going to be back. First of all, you're not making that decision.
No, it's best at this point to just shut up.
Yes.
Because we live in a divided time. Even if there's 60% support for something, that other 40%, all those people are vocal, right? Yeah. Just stay the hell out of it and let the people who are paid to make the decision, be a taxpayer or they're appointed otherwise, let them make the call. But yes, we know where we're leaning. To the point about on-campus stuff, I think the hard part is look at College Town and how many kids live in College Town. That's off campus. You can't tell anybody to live or not to live there.
Right.
Right. And so if I'm a leasing company, I'm like, screw you, man. If they want to be here, they're going to be here. Now, maybe they can't walk officially on campus to a course, but the hard part to me is a dorm room on campus.
Mm-hmm. And we already talked about that. They're tiny, yeah.
Our roommates. Is a roommate a thing
Is
anymore?
That a thing anymore? Just like that, the roommate in a dorm at a university may go the way of the dodo or the high five, as they're all talking about today. People aren't high-fiving each other anymore. Probably done with that. It was almost out the door anyhow. A lot of daps. Not a lot of high fives anymore anyhow. But they do exist. But, yeah, roommates and high fives, maybe a thing of the past. That's it. That's all. I was fortunate. I only had to live in a dorm for 1 year. I lived in an apartment when I came here. I lived in a football dorm at Etsu, and it sucked because you're right on top of your roommate. It's awful. I don't know how anybody does that.
Even still, off-campus dorms, I mean, there are some setups that are like suite-based, right? So you have a common area, nice little kitchen, living room, but then there's 2 people to a room. You know, like, does that even happen? That's just really hard. I mean, maybe if you know the person and you're willing to sign a waiver and say, listen, we come from the same hometown, it's cool.
We're good.
But you can't stick me with a rando. Like, that's just, there's no way.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. So, for those of you that missed it in the 3 o'clock hour, we'll do it right now. We'll take a quick break, come back, and replay my interview with the head coach, Mike Norvell.
At Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we are open and ready for business. It's our huge Memorial Day weekend sale. We can't be stopped celebrating these deals. New cars with a baffling 0.9% APR for 84 months. May is also Ram Truck Month with outrageous discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on some remaining 2019 Rams. Cash in on our Detroit special. Employee pricing on 2020 Wranglers and Gladiators. And pocket these never-before offered mind-blowing savings. Receive 0% for 72 months on almost a dozen models and save thousands. These savings are shocking. Our first responders program will get you an extra $500 this weekend only. We are so proud of our healthcare professionals. We are offering the same $500 to all of you as well. Only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the corner of Capitol Circle and West Tennessee. We're right on the corner and always right on the price. Must qualify through Chrysler Credit for special financing. All rebates and incentives apply, plus tax tag and dealer fee.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with their Memorial Day sale happening May 22nd through the 25th. All Nike golf shoes are 25% off. Score an epic deal on Callaway's Epic Flash Driver, now only $349. Save big with the G400 driver, now only $249. Remember, the more you buy, the more you save, and receive up to 25% off all apparel. Edwin Watts Golf Shops Memorial Day sale happening May 22nd and May 25th. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee, serving golfers since 1968.
The Florida Lottery has awarded nearly 900,000 Bright Future scholarships and counting. That means Bright Future scholars are everywhere.
They are doctors,
Teachers.
scientists,
Even artists. They are shining in every field imaginable. And every day, more students are preparing for their moment in the spotlight. With Bright Futures and the Florida Lottery.
Come visit the new and exciting Hangar 38. This amazing place is for everyone listening right now. Practice your bowling skills, compete, and have fun. Whether you're a newbie, an all-star, or a beer frame champion, no matter how you roll, you'll find the best place to bowl is at Hangar 38. Hangar 38 is home to over 75 arcade games, so they're sure to have something for everyone. Zeppelin's at Hangar 38 is a premier, full-service restaurant and sports bar, and it's also your place for birthday parties and company outings. Tallahassee Tallahassee, what are you waiting for? Come on out to Zeppelin's Hangar 38, 6668 Thomasville Road behind Walgreens.
You've known for a while now that the best place to grab lunch in downtown Tallahassee is Metro Deli. But did you know that Metro Deli is now offering its own online grocery list? That's right. Head to MetroDeliTally.com today to check out all of the best offerings of meats, cheeses, breads, egg salad, tuna salad, signature dishes, and more from your friends at Metro Deli. Metro Deli, more than just a lunch shop, now your corner deli market. Head to MetroDeliTally.com today to support those who support local hospitality workers during the COVID-19 crisis.
Gulick and Wingo.
This playing out in the court of public opinion ultimately ends up benefiting no one.
I agree.
Like in the normal course of negotiation, you're right. The ability to go out here, when I first saw that this plan was put out there, I went, I can't believe Major League Baseball would put this plan out because it's going to put the players in the spot where if they push back at all, they appear greedy. Yeah. And that's usually the goal in these things. And now going back the other way, the players, and we'll get to Sean Doolittle among them, bringing up a lot of the health and safety reasons, is the perfect rebuttal of that to bring this and make this about something that's so universally right now understood by people. Will the NBA and the PA look at this and say, you know what, it's probably better if we do all of our planning behind closed doors from now on and don't come to the table until we all agree on something, because there ain't no win with the look we got.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
So if you missed it, we began today's show, Little Libations Friday edition of the program, by bringing on Mike Norvell, head coach at Florida State. Hadn't been, it'd been a little while since we talked to him, and I know not a ton is going on, but we are starting to see some progress, and I was eager to get him back on the program, kind of find out, A, how he's doing, what his thoughts are on all of this, where we're at, and moreover, preparations, obviously, as the football players, along with other student athletes, come back to town and possibly begin here real soon, voluntary workouts, what their preparation was like for that. Also wanted to talk to him a little bit about what he's able to do in recruiting, given the circumstances, as well as how frequently he's able to meet with on Zoom or by phone call his players.
Yeah, behind the curtain for just a moment. Earlier in the week, this interview was booked, and the NCAA had not made its ruling yet about June 1st or anything along those lines. So there were some open-ended questions where you were hoping maybe he'd have an answer. Like a lot of these questions we have about anything today, business and sports, the answer is, I don't know.
Sure.
We'll see. Well, thankfully, on Wednesday, you start to get a little bit more in the category of, I have a general idea of, and I think this is the direction it's going, rather than I have no idea. So that's the good thing about, the timing of this interview is it comes on the heels 48 hours after. We're starting to see a general path that the sport is taking. So he's not completely in the dark like he would have been on Monday, for example.
Yeah, and I think he was happy about that. You'll hear, I think he seems emboldened by the latest news and progress on this front, and it seems like he's getting excited to have the opportunity to work with his players again. And why wouldn't he be? He barely got a chance the first go-around. So we're going to replay that right now, and we thank him as well as our sponsor for the interview, Barano Heating and Air Conditioning. We really appreciate them. And without further ado, here you go, Coach Norvell. Coach, how are you?
Doing well, Jeff. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Family okay? Everybody doing all right? Hanging in there?
Oh, yeah. We're all working through the process. It's definitely been an interesting last couple of months, but it's really been great just for our family to truly get settled into Tallahassee, and obviously making our home feel like our home, and
Sure.
That's been an incredible process for everyone.
Well, I know it's a weird time, and you're not able to do a lot of things that you would otherwise be doing, and so I won't keep you forever today, but I did think it was important for the fans who listen to this show to be able to hear from you and kind of get a read. Some things have come out since we last talked, and first and foremost, of course, we heard the date announced that student athletes would be able to return to campus and begin voluntary workouts soon enough. Of course, we still have to get the approval from the ACC. Looks like the SEC made an announcement about June the 8th. I won't ask you about hypotheticals hypotheticals, but I do want to know what the process has been like for you guys preparing to have student athletes come back, and what that looks like, what you're preparing to do for when the voluntary workouts can begin.
Well, it's something that there's so many different layers that really kind of fall into place when those decisions are being made and those plans are being put together. So we have a plan for just about every situation or every possibility. And I tell you that from top down, from the state of Florida, the NCAA, all aspects of our administration, we've all been evaluating the best possibilities and policies that we could put into place that when we do get the green light to get our young men back on campus and begin with those voluntary workouts, that our number one concern is the safety of our student athletes, obviously our staff, and all the things that go into it. But really just throughout this entire pandemic, we've had to explore all different options, and we've had a multitude of plans that have been in place just in case that something changed and we had to be able to respond. We wanted to make sure we had a great deal of variation in those possibilities.
I know, Coach, you are able to speak to your football players and have meetings. It's limited, of course, the number of hours that you can do that. And I'm assuming you've had your Zoom meetings and individually or by segments. I'm not real sure how it works. I guess I'd ask you to lend some insight, shed some light as to whether they're going to give you more time. I don't know if the NCAA said that. You only got 3 practices with the guys originally. And then also when you have your meetings, whether that's via the phone or Zoom or whatever it might be, are you able to do anything at all, such as, let's say, install at all? I know it's awkward. I know it's not ideal, but I'm just kind of curious what you're able to talk to your players about.
Yeah, we've tried to stay connected as much as possible and definitely do that in a variety of different ways. We have been, focused on doing, football installs. We've also, kind of ventured into, personal and professional development. We've really try to do a couple different things in regards to team building, just trying to maximize the time that we do have. And I think our players have done a great job with that. By the looks of it, from everything that I've seen, June is going to be, voluntary physical workout, much like what guys have done, here, at home. And we've been able to provide them all with workout plans. We just haven't been able to monitor it in any aspect. And so, getting them back, the NCAA said that we're going to be able to continue with the virtual meetings, but that if we do have facilities open, then that the kids can come in and voluntarily get their workouts here on campus. So those are things that we're trying to make the most of each meeting and every minute that we do get with our players. And for us being a first-year staff, we're still going through the process of trying to instill our philosophy and our approach, and our guys have done a really nice job of trying to invest their time and make sure that not only are we learning the new language, but we're trying to get a big picture approach of why we're doing what we do. I've been sending guys. I start each week. On Sunday, I send every player on our team a video, going into greater detail of some aspect of our program, and a lot of it has been philosophical and trying to get a deeper perspective on answering the why we do all the things that we do. And I think our guys have really enjoyed and embraced that. And it's been fun watching those guys grow, and I know we're all excited about getting back together as soon as we possibly can.
Yeah, and I know it's obviously you've been thrown a curveball, but I tell you what, something that did come out that speaks to buy-in, and speaks to philosophy, it speaks to missions and what it is you're trying to get these kids to understand, it has been your success, your legacy at Memphis, not only in winning the conference, but finishing atop the conference in the APR scores. And, Coach, right here, Leonard Hamilton over the basketball program won the league this year and finished third in the ACC in the APR. So you can win games, and you can go to class, and you can achieve greatness in academics as well. And part of your personal legacy is that as an individual coach for a singular season, you were top 15 in the APR. Talk a little bit about that. I know it's something you got to be proud of, and it's certainly something that caught my eye.
Well, I truly believe that's the only way that you can sustain success. Anybody can have success for a season. I want to be able to help build our student athletes so that they're going to be able to sustain success in every aspect of their life. And I know I've said on the show before, but I am a firm believer that how you do anything is going to be how you do everything. And so I want our guys, they all talk about wanting to achieve greatness on the field. I want that same desire and your application to pursuit of greatness off the field. And that's something that I was really pleased with our guys. Even in this first semester, we had adversity thrown our way. We were challenged. We had to move to all online classes. Guys were in remote situations, and but I thought they responded at a very high level. And we finished with the highest team GPA in program history. We had a 3.12 team GPA. Our guys really did an incredible job of rising to the occasion. But even coupled with that, in all of our exit meetings, it was a great opportunity to show them that it could have been better. There were still missed opportunities, so things that where guys could continue to push themselves, because all I want them to be is the best version of them. And if we can accomplish that off the field, on the field, in the classroom, then we've got a chance to do something really great with these young men.
Coach, I'm curious, look at another aspect of what you're tasked with doing, and that is, of course, evaluating players and bringing in new student athletes to play football here. How do you evaluate recruits right now?
We're spending a lot of time together as a staff virtually, making sure that if each one of those the situations, and whether it's a specific recruit or how we're going through the process of building those relationships, it's a great investment in time. And I think our staff's doing a really nice job. We're trying to paint the picture for who we are, what we're going to be, and doing I think a really nice job of that in regards to building that relationship either virtually or on the phone. We're just excited to when we get these kids on campus. It was unfortunate that we missed out on a lot of these opportunities. I mean, there was the first ever dead period in the month of February, so that was taken away from us. And then, just in only getting 12 days in March, I mean, a lot of these kids were excited to see us coach, to see really who we are on the field, and it's kind of forcing us to have a little bit of a delay in that process. But we definitely built some great relationships, and I will say that it has given us more time in regards to being able to look ahead and obviously build those those lists for not only the 21 but the 22, 23 classes here moving forward. So. There has been some benefit when it's come to that.
Yeah, Coach, for the younger kids, is it simply looking at their YouTube or Huddle highlights? I mean, how do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You got to rely on, we've been making a lot of phone calls to high school coaches, obviously trying to get all the information that we could possibly get from a variety of sources that are around these young men. And then also, you got to watch film. I mean, you watch highlights, you watch game tapes, and that's something that, as young men are growing and developing, it does get a little bit more challenging with some of the younger players, just because you see so much growth from where they were in last fall to where they are now here at what would be the end point of their spring practice. And it's just it's one of those processes that I hate that we're missing out on it, but we're going to do the best job that we possibly can, and definitely look forward to getting these guys on campus as soon as we possibly can as well.
Coach, I really appreciate you taking some time for us today, and it's good to hear from you. Be well, stay safe, and we'll talk to you again real soon, hopefully real soon.
All right, Jeff, thanks so much for having me on, and go Noles.
Go Noles, take care. That's the head coach, Mike Norvell, taking some time for us here to start the Jeff Cameron Show. That interview brought to you by our good friends at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning, making that possible, and we appreciate all of those who are on board with us. These have been trying times for a lot of businesses. Obviously, a lot of us in the community are all kind of pulling together, and we appreciate the help we get from Barano Heating and Air Conditioning and their sponsorship of that Mike Norvell interview. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
These days my friends don't seem to know me. Barry knows school, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows school, you can put him to the test. best.
Your home has been a place of great comfort. We can help you keep it that way. Barano Heating and Air is helping you get ready for summer with $1,500 off select new units, 0% financing for qualified buyers, plus worry-free maintenance plans. Learn more or schedule online at BaranoAC.com. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air today. Florida license CAC 1816186.
Attention Tallahassee, Phase 1 is Phase Patio at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill will be serving up the coldest, crispest refreshments and their signature delicious jumbo wings, all while adhering to responsible social distancing. You know this is the best time of the year to sit on the outdoor patio or deck, so make the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway your first and most frequent stop for Phase Patio. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Order takeout today at cptallybar.com. That's cptallybar.com. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping remind you to prepare your property for hurricane season. If you have trees on your property, it is crucial to have them inspected before a major hurricane. Contact AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping today, 385-3319, that's 385-3319, or online at AAATreeExperts.net, AAATreeExperts.net.
At Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we are open and ready for business. It's our huge Memorial Day weekend sale. We can't be stopped celebrating these deals. New cars with a baffling 0.9% APR for 84 months. May is also Ram Truck Month with outrageous discounts, up to $11,000 off MSRP on some remaining 2019 Rams. Cash in on our Detroit Special. Employee pricing on 2020 Wranglers and Gladiators. And pocket these never-before offered mind-blowing savings. Receive 0% for 72 months on almost a dozen models and save thousands. These savings are shocking. Our First Responders program will get you an extra $500 this weekend only. We are so proud of our healthcare professionals. We are offering the same $500 to all of you as well. Only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the corner of Capitol Circle and West Tennessee. We're right on the corner and always right on the price. Must qualify through Chrysler Credit for special financing. All rebates and incentives apply, plus tax tag and dealer fee.
Tallahassee's unquestioned sports authority. 97.9 ESPN Radio. Tallahassee's sports monster.
Cigars of Tally is your one-stop shop for everything cigars. With two convenient locations, Cigars of Tally is here to serve you. The 1401 Market Street location is right off I-10 and great for travelers and after-work stops. The Midtown location, Cigars of Tally Lounge and Bar at 926 North Monroe Street, is great for those winding down from a long day. With the largest humidor in town, affordable cigar lockers, a large covered patio, and private conference rooms, there's something for everyone to enjoy. Cigars of Tally, open 7 days a week. Need cigars? Get your ash in here.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
Planning on expanding or renovating your home or business? Did you know that these construction projects start with preliminary work such as professional sets of drawings and proper engineering? Before you apply for financing or sign a lease agreement, allow our team of contractors, architects, and engineers to assist you with planning and budgeting. Hello, I'm Travis, owner of T-Spark Enterprises, and I am here because we want your project to launch on the right foot. Call us today and we will take care of your construction needs. We aim to provide work that will exceed your expectations, guaranteeing picture-perfect results.
Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
License number CGC 1525336.
AAA Tree Experts has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer landscaping? AAA landscaping services include custom outdoor landscape, creative landscape design and architecture, hardscapes, waterscapes, retention walls, and French drains, irrigation and sodding, landscape and holiday lighting. Call them today for all your outdoor landscaping needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Stan Van Gundy with us on ESPN Radio. What did you make? I know this had to drive you crazy, of all the people saying on the Last Dance documentary, I wouldn't let us lose. Michael wouldn't let us lose. It wasn't one of the options.
I've always loved that saying in sports. And the one I heard first on The Last Dance was when they were playing Phoenix in the finals, and Charles Barkley said that about himself. I think it was Game 3 after they'd lost a couple. I wasn't going to let us lose. And every time I hear that, I'm saying, so then you decided to let them win the other 4 games? Like you decided I would let us lose the other 4? I've always wondered about some of these things in sports. Like, oh, he wouldn't let them lose. Well, wait a minute. They lost X number of games that year. What was his decision in those? I don't get that.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios in Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Always love that music. Means that as much as I love talking to you guys, hanging out here in the studio doing the Jeff Cameron Show each day, the week is over, and I can put the mic down and do nothing. Maybe play some golf, have a few cold ones. Tom, did you get your Guinness yet, buddy?
I did not.
Oh,
you reminded
cold.
me. Oh, man. There's an extra day to play with this weekend, too, to go get that Guinness.
Yeah. Maybe an extra couple of days for the Jeff Cameron Show. We'll see.
Is that so?
We'll see. Maybe seeing you on Wednesday, everybody. Monday we have off anyhow, and my house is getting demoed, baby. We've got the floors getting ripped out on Monday. My friends at Flooring America, and it's go time. It's go time. They were there bright and early this morning. It's daunting, Tom. It is daunting, and we're looking at ways to rid ourselves of children for this for the foreseeable future in a safe way, but we've got to pawn them off on somebody without that process being too dicey.
Yeah, you realize that the floor is the biggest shelf in your house, right? And how many things it holds.
It's just, you just realize how much needless stuff you collect or that you latch onto for whatever reason, and then you can't. You go through this process where this is great. This is forced purging, but you go through this process where by which you have to really be honest with yourself. You have to really look at an item. I don't go as far as that lady on Netflix that says to touch your clothes or touch your furniture, and what vibe do you get as to like you have some connection with it, some chi. But I do seriously look at like a table, a desk of some sort, a dresser, certain clothes or memorabilia from work or whatever it might be, where I go, am I ever going to use this again? Do we ever use it now? When was the last time you wore that shirt? The one that's been hanging in your closet for 3 years. Have you worn it in 3 years? Because if you haven't, it's time to get rid of that shirt. You go through all that stuff. And once you start the process of ridding yourself of things that you just don't even use, whether you like them or not, you just don't even use them. There are things that I'm getting rid of that they look nice. I like them, but they simply go unused. And so,
would you have done a yard sale if it was not COVID time?
Yeah. We were looking to do one, but we have no more time to wait. So it's donations. I'll tell you what, the big dog, the big television that I've been wanting to get rid of and that I am getting rid of. This is the weekend, Tom. I'm buying that 86-inch television.
Ooh, buddy.
Ooh, it's happening. I got the okay.
The old 86er. Wait a minute, this is approved?
This is approved.
Rubber stamped.
Rubber stamped. I normally don't ask for permission. I just get forgiveness. But I straight up, this time I thought, all right, you can't walk through the door with an 86-inch television. I mean, it's not small. You got to see this thing.
Yeah, you can. You need 2 people.
Yeah, it's like you can't walk through the door with this 86-inch television and be like, what? Because I was going to just set it up. Oh, what? That's a problem? She would say, That is the biggest eyesore I have ever seen. Look at we have a movie theater in our house. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Wait a minute. Eyesore or IMAX?
Yeah.
I believe it's the nicest IMAX you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's it's incredible. That's all I'll say. Anyhow, by the way, you don't have to be all rich and hoity-toity to get one of these things anymore. So this isn't like some extravagant deal. There are things that I do want to purchase that you don't have to be rich for, but you would really have to justify in your budget over time. And I don't like to have that conversation. One of those is a stereo receiver for Marantz that I want.
Right.
You know,
or a Rolex.
Right. Yeah, I would like one of those too. But anyhow, I don't own either. So the point would be this television, it's come way down.
How much was the Marantz thing again? We've talked about this on the air, but I forgot.
Well, the one I want is there's several kinds of Marantz receivers. They're various capabilities, Tom.
Right.
The one I want is it's up there. It's a couple, $2-4 grand, somewhere in there.
Oh, it's not as bad as I thought.
It's not $8
I thought you were going to say like 6,500 or something.
There are Marantz receivers that go up to $8,000. Now, if I were Jimi Hendrix and I needed to plug in or something, then maybe. But no, I'm not getting that. But I can wait on that. First is the floors. Get the house the way I want it to look with the hardwood and all that. Then we got to do some painting, which when I say we, I mean I'm hiring somebody to come paint.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Yep.
And then from there, couple other little things we got to do, and then maybe the Marantz gets to the house. But in the interim, the TV happened.
So we're going to be hearing from your friends at Flooring America soon. Is that right?
That is correct.
Are we going to be hearing from your friend the painter at any point here?
That would be great. That would be great, yeah. Hey, this is my painter, Ben. If you need help, call Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben.
Hey, it's Ben. I paint. Good job, Ben. Here's his number. Yeah. You'd be like, Jeff, I don't think that's legal.
850-222-4Ben. 222-4Ben, folks.
Anyhow, I could paint, but I would screw it up. It would annoy me, and so I'd rather pay to have the painting. It's just a bunch of kind of trim along the floorboard area there. I don't know what all the lingo is. Everybody else does. Women do. I tell you that. They can tell you, oh, well, that's the nose. You need this. You got to have that. I don't know. I just know it looks like a cabinet. It doesn't match the wood. We got to make sure it does, so we got to stain it.
Can I share 2 pieces of statistical information regarding the Super Bowl Bucks that'll make you smile?
What made you read this and think about this?
So I saw a note today on NFL Network, which is honestly a channel I'm watching more of than I ever thought I would.
It's just a great network.
It is. And the variety in the morning, that show's good. It's entertaining, and it makes you forget about things.
I like the show, too.
Did you know Kay hosts Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on the app?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah. It's like, remember that old trivia show? They had 15 minutes of fame on the phone. Yeah. Now there's a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, runs in conjunction with the TV show, and you can win like $200 grand or whatever.
And she's the host.
She's the MC of the whole thing. But yeah, that show is good.
Fine as hell.
So they were talking about defensive touchdowns most scored in a season. And the Bears from a few years back, went toe-to-toe with the Seahawks, who scored 10. And I thought, well, why aren't the Bucks on that list from 2002? Well, we had only scored 5 defensive touchdowns in the course of the 2002 season, but we had 4 more in the postseason.
Yes, we did.
1 in the NFC title game and 3,
of course,
in the NFC championship. Well, I found a long article about the great superlatives of that defense. In October of 2002, against 4 opponents, the Buccaneers defense allowed a grand total of 2 touchdowns. They also scored 2 touchdowns. So if you're looking at what they gave up and what they put on the board, it was net even, if not maybe a little bit ahead, depending on the field goal count.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They get overlooked a lot because they were in such close proximity to the Ravens team that had arguably the best defense of all time, along with the Bears in '85, and then the Bucks are in the category of honorable mention a lot of times for 3rd or 4th or 5th best defense on a championship team.
So in 2002, Joey Harrington, no surprise, had the lowest quarterback rating of all starters in football. It was like 58. The Buccaneers allowed a quarterback rating during the regular season of under 50. And in the postseason, it was 45 and change.
You really couldn't do anything against that team, man. If you think about the way they were set up, the way they were assembled, you had dominance off the edge, but you had not only a dominant pass rusher, but one that could set the edge. So you had the fully functioning duel of a defensive end that most teams don't have. You are strong up the middle, not just in terms of running lanes, congestion, but getting a push to the quarterback because not too many defensive tackles could do what Warren Sapp did. In addition to that, obviously, you had some depth at that position. You've got real speed at corner. You've got a wily veteran who played the hybrid role exceptionally well. You're strong at safety. Obviously, you've got one of the best linebackers to ever play the damn game. It's just every level that you have the best. You have that year in the league, probably the best safety. So you've really got every level taken care of.
Well, and also, so they had a lot of time of possession. That offense was a good ball control offense to pair with the defense. It was roughly like 35 minutes a game. It was an absurd time of possession for the season. So this number impacts the next stat. But the Bucs gave up roughly 240 yards a game, the defense did, on average, which was 50 yards ahead of the next closest team. That is the largest gap at the time it happened. That is the largest gap between number 1 and number 2 in total yards allowed since 1984's Chicago Bears.
That's crazy. Well, I would also tell you this. I think this New England team last year through 9 games was on the verge of breaking almost all of the records you're mentioning. But they had real problems moving the ball themselves, so the defense ended up getting worn out in the second half of games, in the second half of the season a little bit more.
And here's the most uncanny one of them all. This spans obviously more than just the 2002 season. By math, it's over 3 seasons. The Bucs recorded a sack and a turnover on defense for 51 straight games.
That is remarkable.
51.
That is remarkable. The turnover part of that is the thing.
Right.
I can't. Wow. 51 straight games they forced a turnover?
And had a sack.
Well, I mean, again, that's wow. I would never have guessed a number like that.
That was an NFL record and then some.
Yeah. Is it still?
Probably.
That's a crazy number.
Yeah.
You're right. That does brighten my day. It sends us into the weekend in a very good mood. I'll tell you something else. I was on a Zoom call last night. Hey, who isn't these days? And some of the guys are from Tampa, and they were all asking. They're all spread all around the country now, and they were saying to me, "Hey, man, are you hearing that the Bucs are going to wear the creamsicles at all this year?" I said, "Well, the door's been opened, gentlemen. The rule has changed. You know, player safety was the big deal with the helmet. That's what they cited. It was stupid, but that's what they said, and we couldn't wear the creamsicle because of it. But now." We are going to wear, in addition to our new uniforms, we're going to wear the creamsicle at least once this year. I think they mentioned twice, but I know at least once.
I don't know if it's this year. Next year,
the following year?
In 2021, the helmet rule changes.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I thought it was this upcoming season.
What they're doing this year is they're rolling out their 3-pack uniforms.
Which are
great. The all grays.
They're all awesome.
I think they can wear those color rushes a maximum of 3 games. I think it's 3. But then next year, yes, the helmets will change. So, like, when Green Bay wears those ridiculous uniforms with the current helmet, it just doesn't look right. They'll be able to wear that navy green, weird-looking helmet. And then when the Steelers wear the prison uniforms, the stripes, they'll be able to wear the proper helmet with it as well. Yeah, the Cowboys will be able to go to that white helmet with the navy for Thanksgiving Day.
Which is incredible.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. It's funny. The aura around Bucko Bruce and the creamsicles and all of that has shifted so dramatically, more than say the Bucs, perhaps the way the Bucs are viewed currently with Tom Brady. Like, that's a paradigm shift. That's an amazing. You got people all over the country looking at information about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a daily basis. That just never happened. Not even in the Super Bowl year.
Yeah,
and so. The uniforms are so beloved and endeared now, and people can't wait to see them. And they were loathed when they wore them. We all hated them. They were effeminate. Okay? There's, you've got a Keys lifeguard on your helmet.
Right, yeah.
You've got,
And it was the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
And he's wearing that ridiculous plume with there's everything about it. Okay, so you have that, and everybody's kind of like, oh, good Lord, that's an interesting look for a football team, but anyhow.
It's a fine line. They whiffed on it because Captain Morgan looks somewhat similar to that guy.
Yeah.
But, you could tell there's a difference.
Well, I don't want to get into details, but, you don't need to. You
don't need to work.
If
he's gonna have a knife in his mouth, right, which is like very Shakespearean, sword, sheath, knife, all that. He's got to be climbing a ladder.
Yes,
because that's when the pirate has the knife in his mouth. He's climbing
to
the
kill
ladder
somebody like a man.
Right.
Yes.
What do they call it? Like the bucket perch up top. There's a term for that.
Yeah, there is. I don't know. I don't know anything about boats or pirates. I really don't, even though my favorite teams are the Buccaneers and the Pittsburgh Pirates, but I don't.
I used to know it when I used to watch the Peter Pan movies as a kid.
Hated all of them.
Even Hook with Robin Williams?
Hated it.
Oh.
Hate Peter Pan. Hate the story. Hate everything about it. Hate Tinkerbell. Hate all of it. I always did. Never liked it. Not even as a kid. I thought it sucked. Even then, I was like, this is stupid.
You didn't like Dustin Hoffman as Captain Hook?
No. I hated the whole thing. Every remake, every modern version, every old version, every cartoon, the story itself when I read it, all of it. I hate it. Hate it. Now, I can't say that about most children's things. I fell in line like everybody else. I liked, whether it's a Frankenstein story or superheroes or anything. I watched those as kids, and I liked all the Disney stuff for the most part. As a kid. But for whatever reason, I always thought Peter Pan was the dumbest damn thing ever. I hated it.
But you were okay with like Lady and the Tramp or Cinderella or those movies? Sleeping Beauty.
Yep. I was fine with it. Cinderella didn't do anything. I was a little boy, so I didn't really care about Cinderella. Yeah. But the other stuff, yeah.
3 older sisters, you see. I had to watch
You had to watch all that stuff. I didn't care anything about Cinderella. But it's funny because I remember the first time we read Peter Pan as a kid. My mom read it to me when I was going to bed. And we would, it was like the big version. So you had several nights of reading it. And I was just like thinking the whole time, this is ridiculous. Isn't it funny how some things just don't take?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Bryce is that way. He hates fantasy. He is steeped in reality. He wants to read autobiographies. He wants to read, he wants science. He wants real history. He likes things that are of the world. Any sort of fiction or fantasy, he's just like, this is ridiculous. Like if you say something to him about a story that has aliens, he's like, well, this is ridiculous.
Science fiction is a no-go?
No-go.
About Batman. Do you like Batman?
It's okay. He doesn't go nuts over it. Oh. He doesn't care much about superheroes. He likes Thanos.
Oh, really? That's a problem.
I know. He likes Thanos. I'm like, you're going to burn the world down, son? Is that what you're doing?
Only half of it, Dad.
No, he likes Thanos, and he doesn't mind that genre. He can watch it.
He'd probably like Batman Begins then.
Yeah, he might.
I bet he liked that one.
Yeah. But he doesn't, it's funny with him. He's more like me. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm like, I don't need to watch this. It's ridiculous.
Fancy that.
I know, but I never said anything to him. He just wanted I went and got the movies for him to watch. I wanted to see them.
Oh yeah, you mowed down the Marvels. Did you ever finish that?
I never finished. They're the same movie. They're the same movie over and over and over again.
How far did you get?
Like 6 or 7 of them. I was like, this is ridiculous. They're all the same movie with just different heroes. The same thing every time. I was like, why? Who's so excited to watch this?
Wait till you can introduce him to Watchmen.
Well, I will, because I like Watchmen.
The film. Yeah.
Yes, and I like the comic book and everything else. Yeah, no, I like it all. Watchmen's awesome because it's sinister. It kicks ass. I like Watchmen. That's the one you got me. Yeah, I do like that.
What do you think, 14, 15 years old?
Yeah, he's an old 12, so probably at 14. There's some things. I
might have to do the 4TV version of it or something.
Yeah, because there's the scene with the dogs.
Oh, yeah.
That's way out there. Yeah. I'd have to forward through that. Mm-hmm. Our thanks to Mike Norvell. We really appreciate him coming on today. Thanks to you. See, we're off the beaten path. The weekend's already started. That's where we're just having a conversation over a beer without the beer. But soon the beer will be here.
How about the lady in the Watchmen?
Oh, yeah.
The redhead lady.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about superhero movies across the board is they cast them well. And Watchmen was no exception.
Yeah, you're right about that. And that's some dark stuff there. I don't know. He may be 18 to see that movie. There is some dark.
There is.
They're real dark.
But the political stuff, he'd love.
He'd love all that, yeah. And the soundtrack's great, too. Good work out of you. Thanks for listening, everybody. You guys have a wonderful long weekend. Enjoy the holiday. I may or may not be back with you on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, in fact. We've got a lot of stuff to get done at the Cameron household, so.
Damn shame.
Yeah,
I guess that means...
You're heartbroken to hear that you may have an extra day off.
Now on the tee.
Take care, everybody.
Tuesday, badminton, tossing on a Friday night. I got paid for Wednesday, need a welcome Thursday, tossing on a Friday night with you.
At Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we are open and ready for business. It's our huge Memorial Day weekend sale. We can't be stopped celebrating these deals. New cars with a baffling 0.9% APR for 84 months. May is also Ram Truck Month with outrageous discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on some remaining 2019 Rams. Cash in on our Detroit special. Employee pricing on 2020 Wranglers and Gladiators. And pocket these never-before offered mind-blowing savings. Receive 0% for 72 months on almost a dozen models and save thousands. These savings are shocking. Our First Responders program will get you an extra $500 this weekend only. We are so proud of our healthcare professionals. We are offering the same $500 to all of you as well. Only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the corner of Capitol Circle and West Tennessee. We're right on the corner and always right on the price. Must qualify through Chrysler Credit for special financing. All rebates and incentives apply, plus tax tag and dealer fee.
AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping remind you to prepare your property for hurricane season. If you have trees on your property, it is crucial to have them inspected before a major hurricane. Contact AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping today, 385-3319, that's 385-3319, or online at AAATreeExperts.net, AAATreeExperts.net.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with their Memorial Day sale happening May 22nd through the 25th. All Nike golf shoes are 25% off. Score an epic deal on Callaway's Epic Flash Driver, now only $349. Save big with the G400 driver, now only $249. Remember, the more you buy, the more you save, and receive up to 25% off all apparel. Edwin Watts Golf Shops Memorial Day sale happening May 22nd and May 25th. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee, serving golfers since 1968.
Hey everybody, it's good news, and we could use some good news right about now. Getting family dinners to go with curbside pickup at Bumpa's, well, it's easy to do, and it's all day, every day. You're going to want to pay with a credit card, bring your own PIN to sign the receipt, and they want to thank you, so do I, for supporting your local restaurants when they need it most. By the way, if you call, it's 850-999-8652. And here's Rick Pitino to give you the menu items.
Pasta alla vodka. You get chicken, garlic bread, and it's a nice round price. Secondly, you got 20 wings. You got chicken fingers too, fries, onion rings on the side. Nice, also good for the family of 4. 2 racks of ribs with mac and cheese and broccoli. You could sub in some fries or rings if you want instead too, but those racks of ribs, absolutely delicious. Just beautiful.
Or you can order, Rick, from the regular menu. It's Bumpus349.com.
The whole shebang.
And now, the worst commercial ever.
Say, Jan, as a fellow respected small business professional, I wonder, who do you use for commercial auto and business insurance?
Progressive, of course. They helped with a customized insurance solution for my busy florist company.
I'm so glad we had this chance encounter in this busy restaurant.
Yes, that fake conversation was brutal. Whereas commercial auto and business insurance through Progressive is anything but. Visit ProgressiveCommercial.com to quote today. Insurance provided and serviced by Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. It's affiliated and third-party insurers.
Hey guys, how are you? This is Eddie from Gordo's Restaurants and Bumpa's Local 349. I just want to let you guys know that we here in the local community love to have you back. It's 25%, we know, but we're doing the best that we can to serve you and do what we do the way we do it. Same great food, a little bit more space. And we're not the only ones. There's lots of local restaurants out there. Just remember, eat local, drink local, be local. Come see us.
Who's ready for the best wings in Tally and locally brewed beers? Hobbit American Grill is the place to be. They've been voted Tally's best wings again in 2018. Hobbit offers Bingo Mondays, happy hour all day Fridays with craft beers on tap from all the local breweries. And the Hobbit is your home for all the UFC fights with plenty of high-def TVs for everyone. Be on the lookout for the food truck coming soon with the best lip-smacking wings in town. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving great food to great friends for good times. For info on their hours and 3 locations, visit them online at myhobbitonline.com. At Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we are open and ready for business. It's our huge Memorial Day weekend sale. We can't be stopped celebrating these deals. New cars with a baffling 0.9% APR for 84 months. May is also Ram Truck Month with outrageous discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on some remaining 2019 Rams. Cash in on our Detroit special. Employee pricing on 2020 Wranglers and Gladiators. And pocket these never-before offered mind-blowing savings. Receive 0% for 72 months on almost a dozen models and save thousands. These savings are shocking. Our First Responders program will get you an extra $500 this weekend only. We are so proud of our healthcare professionals. We are offering the same $500 to all of you as well. Only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the corner of Capitol Circle and West Tennessee. We're right on the corner and always right on the price. Must qualify through Chrysler Credit for special financing. All rebates and incentives apply, plus tax, tag, and dealer fee.
Seminole headlines.
Brian writes, is there a better song we can play going into fourth quarter than Eastbound and Down? I love Burt and all, but don't think this song is catching on. I hate to say it, but the Gators got this right with Tom Petty's I Won't Back Down. It's fun and the whole crowd gets into it. Any suggestions?
That's a tough situation. It's a tough situation.
You're not going to outdo Tom Petty. That's going to be a tough sell, and there is nobody that, musician-wise, graduated from Florida State, that wrote an anthemic song that the country loves.
Isn't Creed a Tallahassee band?
No, dare even mention it. That one of the worst bands ever assembled. That should never happen.
Just imagine, though. Try to imagine this, Jeff. You're in a 21-20 game with Miami.
Yeah.
You've got Miami's driving.
Yeah. And
at the 32-yard line. You go to the fourth quarter with arms wide open. You're motorhead. I mean, the whole crowd would be singing that song, Jeff. Miami would just melt. They would melt into a puddle if they heard 80,000 people singing, or 20,000 singing Arms Wide Open.
If you want to have fun, go look up that ridiculous Marlins anthem that the lead singer from Creed wrote. It's unbelievable. And the Marlins actually played it. It's one of the worst songs you have ever heard in your life.
Was there a theme song to The Longest Yard? Because that was a classic Burt Reynolds football movie.
It was, yeah. I don't think there was a theme song that I recall. No.
I think it was With Arms Wide Open.
Tuesday night on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
It's time to unite, Tallahassee. After years of our great local restaurants serving us, it's our turn to serve them. With this simple purchase of gift cards, we can help them survive the financial toll of COVID-19. Buy them for yourself, your family, or as gifts. No doubt we'll all have a reason to go out and celebrate soon as we safely can. Go to hungertohelp.com and show your support for the heart of our community today. This message brought to you in part by your local Tallahassee radio broadcasters.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.